gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Gather round, it's story time. ComixDad's got the latest on the line. From panels to pixels, we'll explore the world of comics and so much more. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. We'll dive into pop culture, what's hot, what's not. Entertainment, buzz, the latest plot. Content creation, how we make it pop. Sit back, relax, let's talk shop. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. Whether it's manga, movies, or memes, we've got the insights, the laughs, and the schemes. So join the chat, let's elevate the conversation, don't hesitate. From classics to new, from indie to mainstream, we'll cover it all like a superhero's dream. Maybe we'll stray talk of other things, but comic love is what gives us wings. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.
Hey everybody, what's going on? ComixDad here for another edition of Talkin Shop. I started numbering the episodes now because doing the dates, who knows how long we'll do this show for. Maybe it's long term, and doing the dates it'll just be annoying. So I started numbering the episodes. Episode 11 of Talkin Shop. Thank you everybody so much for being here. If you're here for the first time, Talkin Shop is a show where I have a guest on. We talk some comic book stuff, typically like what got people my guest into comics, if they have anything in their collection, whatnot, and then we talk my guest's shop, which whatever it is that they're doing. I've had comic artists on. I'm gonna have comic writers and indie creators on later on in the fall. I've had content creators on, just talk about the things that they do. And topical conversation at the end, but we have a great guest today. But before I introduce my guest, let me get into the chat, say hello to everybody. Shauna says, hey ComixDad, hey Blaine, what's going on, Shauna? Queen Comics wife, the best Queen Comics wife. She's the best Queen Comics wife of all time, always. That sounded more like Cartman than it did Trump. She says, hey my love, hope you have a great stream and promote me. Yes, everybody please go check out Queen Comics wife. She has channel on YouTube and on Rumble. You can she has a link tree, so basically my link tree that's in the chat, if you take that, change ComixDad to Queen Comics wife, and comics still spelt with an X, it'll take you to her link tree. But also look her up on YouTube, look her up on Rumble, Queen Comics wife. And then who else we got here? We've got John Ambler, the man John Ambler. Hail ComixDad, hail Queen Comics wife, and the comics crew. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hail the comics crew. White Devil Otaku says hello to all. What's going on, White Devil Otaku? Good to see you, brother. Shell Frogs. Hey, Shell Frogs. How are you, lady? Hail chat and the royal couple. Shell Frogs, this is not Couples Cafe. That's next week. But thanks for being here. Slipping into the void says, what's up, everybody? Slipping into the void. How are you, man? Welcome to the channel. And anybody who's here watching for the first time, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow if you're on Rumble. And also hit the follow if you're over on Kick. That's right. We're doing Talkin Shop on Kick for the first time. Started streaming on Kick this past Sunday for the poll list. So hopefully people watching on Kick are enjoying the shows. If not, sorry, I'll be doing gaming stuff this weekend. So I know people mostly like Kick for gaming things. So don't worry, I will have gaming stuff coming soon, people on Kick. Byron of Sidious, greetings and salutations. What's going on, Byron of Sidious, over on Rumble? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well today. Caveat ties. Hey, to be Blaine splained. I'm gonna need clarification on that, but good thing I got the the number one expert on what that is to explain it to me in just a second here. Hidden B23, what's up, everybody? What's going on, Hidden B? Good to see you. Jared Barnes, Pack Pacific Rim Uprising gang in the building. I thought you were trying to say like Pac Rim Man or something like that. I don't know. I thought you were doing something weird with Pac-Man there. I got you though. I got you. And then who else? I think that's everybody. Cool. And everybody, as you filter in, please check out in the description links to not just my stuff, but also to my guests' things. But on YouTube, we are not monetized. So if you feel like donating to the channel, it's never expected. I'm not asking you guys to, but people have done so. So I just like to make it known that there's ways to do so down in the description there. I don't know if the Blurps link is in there, but not active during Talkin' Shop. Just want to let everybody know now. This way you're not going and wasting your Blurps points. Yeah, I mean, if you do, let me know. I'll refund them to you. But just putting it out there now. No Blurps on Talkin' Shop. All the other streams, Blurps are indeed active. Blurps are awesome, by the way. Yeah, yep. Queen Comics Life, thank you so much. Hitting the ComixDad Venmo and the ComixDad PayPal links. Thanks so much, Queen. But yeah, without further ado, let me introduce my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a movie connoisseur joining tonight. He may not be famous for being in movies, but he's getting famous for talking about them. And he has also gone and created a platform for people to be able to talk about movies in a more open, free speech, uncensored format. Wanting to rival or at least in my opinion, it rivals Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, Google reviews, all that stuff. Screw the rest of those sites, especially Rotten Tomatoes. But ladies and gentlemen, as long as I can find my clip here, there we go. I give you Blaine Andrews of Criticless.
With it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on it. All right. I'll get on with it. Blaine, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the channel.
Not much, man. Not much. I love it, and getting a standing ovation by Shia LaBeouf. Like, there's nothing better. I couldn't think of a better way to come in on a show. So I'm honored and happy to be here. We've been chatting for a while online, and you've come into the app, and I've gotten to know you for a little bit here. And with me doing the rounds, I've kind of joked as I've become like the herpes of YouTube, where I can't be avoided. I'm spreading wildly, and so it's a good problem to have. But yeah, so. I'm doing the rounds.
That is, I'm not going to say probably, that is definitely the only type of any kind of form of herpes that I'll accept.
Right. Exactly.
For Queen Comics Life's sake.
Right. You've caught the clap from me. You're welcome. So no, but yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. And yeah, I like what you got going on. Love the love for comics and all of that stuff. I'm definitely a comics fan, even though I'm connected to all the movie and TV stuff currently. My interests go much wider outside of that. So
well, and as you know, it all intertwines with comic book movies and comic book TV shows, and we've had comic book TV shows for as far back as what, the 40s, the 50s,
right?
And movies as far back as what, the 60s, starting with I think Adam West Batman, if not before that. So yeah, it's all what do they say? What's the it's all French to me, or whatever the saying is. I will say, all spreading all the love, though. I got to admit, man, it did sound a little non-hetero, but you know, I think that's why we caught you saying this one time, though.
Right. Look, this is all doesn't matter. Let's get gay already. Yes, it was saved.
I have been using that. I clipped it when it happened, and I have been using it. Usually it's followed up by this.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Usually it's followed up by Pedro Pascal.
Perfect. I'm glad someone has that clipped. I hazed them pretty thoroughly on the homosexuality of that movie, and it drove Mo Zamboni nuts. So it was a great time.
Well, it's like I'm going to be using both those clips in combination probably pretty heavily next week. 'Cause
Yeah.
next week that comes out, I think, right?
The Fantastic Four is next week. Yeah. So that's kind of like we were saying on our show. It's like, regardless of whether I love it or hate it, I'm just excited to talk about it at this point.
Gary says, B-boy Blaine.
That's right. What's up, Gary?
That's not the herpes.
That's right.
Okay. Quick Comics Life says ComixDad's the YouTube. That's fair. You're the herpes on the hemorrhoid. There
That's
we go.
right. Hey, it's. But my wife would probably have easily called me the herpes of YouTube for sure. So it's always the wives that do the best hazing,
For sure.
and I guess they have the all access pass to do it. So
Well, they get the behind the scenes, brother.
right, they do.
There was one. There we go. I do want, before we get into comic talk and everything, I do want a little clarification. You are the expert on Blaine-splaining. So what is
Blaine-splaining.
Blaine-splaining?
Yeah, it's just where I tell everyone they're wrong, and that I thoroughly explain to them the right opinion to have. Caveat especially likes to use it when Mo is talking, and then I'm like, Mo, you're wrong. This is why I'm right. But yeah, so yeah, caveat dubbed Blaine-splaining, and it's definitely sticking around for sure around the app as well. So which I've gotten a lot of harassment. They call me Shirley because I didn't like Airplane. There's all sorts of. Oh yeah, I got a lot of crap for that one.
Yeah, I unfortunately haven't been able to catch too much of the Monday Hangover because I was, up until this past week, I was doing a show on Monday nights. I mean, it was after Monday Hangover was over, but I'd be spending that time like getting ready, looking through. It's my my weekly show that I do going over new comic books. It's called the Pull List. But up until this week, I was doing it on Mondays, so like I was usually spending the time during Monday Hangover going over, looking what's coming out, like getting ready for the show. But now that I'm doing that on Sundays, I'm able to start watching Monday Hangover more often, so I'll be able to understand what Blaine-splaining and things like that are.
Right, for sure.
Let's see. Well, and also I have a new phrase to use because I Blaine-splain all the time apparently. And because I have all the right opinions and everybody else is wrong. But.
Of course, I mean, listen, people should be ashamed of the wrong opinions and know that we are always right. I mean, that's just
100%.
It's a fact. It's a fact of life. I just accept it already.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Right.
Shell, oh shit, he saw. I see everything, Shell. Pacific Rim sucks, Blaine.
Well, listen, Jared, don't make me come for you, buddy. This is one of those very rare people, the one person ever that likes Pacific Rim 2 better than Pacific Rim 1.
Really?
Yeah, somebody broke him. Somebody hurt him at some point, and I don't know. We can't seem to fix him, and
Jared, come here. I'm gonna hug the microphone. I'm pretending to you. Give you that hug that you never got. There you go.
Yep.
It's all gonna be okay, Jared. It's all gonna be okay.
That's right. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah. Now, Pacific Rim though is a masterpiece, and anyone that uses Criticless knows that Pacific Rim, Pac Rim as we call it, is deep in our lore, and you have to just acknowledge that it's a masterpiece because it is.
I loved it. Yeah, Pacific Rim 2 was utter trash, unfortunately. But yeah, the original Pacific Rim, the first one, chef's kiss.
Right.
Yep. I got it, and as we talk about the website, I'll talk about my usage of it and how little it is, and I definitely have plans on writing more reviews. But that's definitely on my list of movies to give reviews on.
Sweet.
Because also my thing is I don't go back and rewatch movies very regularly. I'm one of those people like I'll watch it once and then I'll put it on a shelf for 10 years before I watch it.
I am the exact same. I could even see it once and that it's one of my favorites, and I've only seen it one time, but it's because I don't go back and watch movies that I've only seen it once. It's just I'm like there's so many other things I haven't seen that I would also need to see.
Quick Comics Life says, well, we live with you guys. We know what you truly are. Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
He'd be right 50% of the time. 50% of the time, he's right all the time. So.
Exactly. Big facts.
T. Davidson, shout out to Blaine. What's up, T. Davidson? Good to see you, brother. How can anyone not like Airplane? There you're getting it from the comics crew now too. Isaac, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Let me just make sure not hitting anybody else. Quick Comics Life, that's because you have no taste in movies. We've been over this before.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, if you don't like Pac Rim, it's just that's.
And there we go. Donna Hall, I am driving home. Please overlook whatever foolishness talk the text throws out there. Donna Hall, if you've seen any of my X posts, my fat thumbs, I have fat thumb disease. Oh, I get you. You're good. But thank you for being here, Donna. And thank you for everybody being here. And now let's finally, now that we've said hello to everybody, again, everybody, if you're here for the first time, please subscribe and follow, depending upon which platform you're on, watching on. And then everybody hit that like button and hit the share button, hit the repost, hit whatever button you got to do to share the channel and the streams of everybody. Looking to grow here. We're almost at 350 on YouTube. We're pretty soon going to be starting to push the 500 once that 350. We're going to say screw 400. We're going to go to 500. And then on Rumble, we're just looking for steady growth. We've had awesome growth over there, and we're just looking to keep it going. And then kick people. I just hope you guys I just hope you guys, whoever's watching, the two of you watching, I just hope you're enjoying. That's all that I want out of Kick for right now. It's just people to enjoy and discover the channel. So, but yeah, let's fair enough. But yeah, man. So I am ComixDad, and this is Talkin Shop. And before we get into anything else, we have to talk about comics. I know you're more of a guy, but do you? My first question is, do you have any comics at home? And if so, did you bring any for show and tell today?
Yeah, I have an epic shit ton of comics. I love comic books. I went through a huge phase during college where it was a problem. I worked full time all through college, which also meant that I had grown up money, and so I went on like a terrible comic bender. And there was one year where I spent multiple thousands of dollars on comic books, and I was like, okay, got to take a break. And so I don't.
That's not how it goes. It's just going to bring you back in, man.
I know. And so I took a break, but I was one of those. I loved collecting as kids, but I never collecting comics as a kid, but just never did it a ton. We didn't have a very close local comic shop, so we kind of had to go out of the way to go to one. But I would, if any time that I could find them in a grocery store or wherever, I'd snag some because that was about the only option I had. I did. Well, I actually had two already in my backpack, but I did bring one. Told me to bring one that I liked from my collection. I actually brought one from my childhood, which I just think is a super cool book.
There you go.
And I've kept it around. This is my X-Men anniversary holographic cover Wolverine book here.
Beautiful.
This book is a pretty legendary book. I probably need to keep it better, but it's one of those that like I said, I had since I was a kid. But I mean, the art in this is just very it's very 90s, very retro, and I just think this is a super cool book, awesome cover. And so that's definitely it's one of my favorites that I own and just think is a really cool one. But I did actually, funny enough, I had one book that I have not started reading yet that was happened to be in my backpack, and I'm curious if you've read it, which is Keanu Reeves' Berserker. I don't know if you've read this yet.
Yes, I read all of Berserker when it was first coming out several years ago. It had potential.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was bad. Like I enjoyed it, especially for the action scenes. The artist on the that worked on it did a phenomenal job. So
the art looks great.
The story, I mean, it was interesting. I'll give it that.
Right.
But it didn't
an immortal warrior.
It didn't really. It's been done before, and it's
right.
You know what, Keanu Reeves, he's by all accounts a very stand-up guy. Actors are not necessarily. There's a reason why actors don't write and they just act.
Right.
So,
right. Exactly.
Sometimes direct, but never write.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I mean, it was okay. I enjoyed it. It was decent, and considering it was his first time giving it a shot, well, why I still have you highlighted.
Right. No, you're good. You're good. I love the screen time. It's perfect.
Dude, better your face than mine, brother.
No. But I will say the other one that I had in my pack that I'm currently reading that I'm loving, and I actually talked about it yesterday, Science with Beardo and X-Wing, is the Witcher Omnibus collection.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
This book is massive. Do what? Yes, it's Dark Horse. Yeah, the art style. I was almost showed something that would have been too graphic. It's very Witcher, but the art style is interesting because it is kind of almost looks a little bit like the art from the Hellboy comics. But let me tell you, there's 4 full stories in here that are multiple issues. It's like, the book is this big thick book is kind of in quarters as far as the stories, and so far I've finished the first story in here, and it's absolutely fantastic. If you're a Witcher fan, highly recommend reading it. I was kind of over the moon with this. So
Nice, man.
Yeah,
It's
and we do caveat ties actually in the chat as well. He brought up he has a Brave New Our World. I don't know if you're familiar with his stuff, and
no,
he's working on a really cool comic right now.
no, I'm not. And what is it? I the messages here starred. I was getting this is one I was gonna yeah.
Mhm.
Caveat if you want, man. I'm on X, my DMs are open on X, or you can shoot me an email, thecomixdad@gmail.com. Send me some links to some of your stuff, man. I'd love to check it out, brother. But
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I've been trying to work on getting more comic related people on the show. Not that I don't enjoy having all the content creators that I've had on, but it just if I didn't bring if it would I would feel sort of like a sham if I didn't have some more somewhat regular appearances by people in the comic book industry, whether it's indies
Right.
or the big two or whatever, which no one in the big two so far. So
Right. Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
never going to happen. I did get
Hey.
a response from Daniel Warren Johnson once, though. The
Hey,
guy
there you
who's
go.
been writing Transformers.
Sweet.
But he did say, unfortunately, he was too busy to and too booked out on enough podcasts already. I was like, shit, I get
I
it, man.
get it.
No,
Right.
everybody's too big for comics. I get it.
Right. Right.
But yeah, Queen Comics Life says, "Oh, tell them about my tombs." Yeah, so if you're a movie guy, and
Mhm.
are you into? I'm assuming you're into like classic horror monsters and Universal
Oh yeah.
monsters and all that.
Oh, I
Queen
love that
Comics
stuff.
Life loves the Universal monsters, and she
Yes.
also has almost the entire original run of Marvel's Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, sweet. That's
She is
awesome.
only missing the two big issues. She's missing issue number 1, and she's missing issue number what is it, 10, with the first appearance
Okay.
of Blade.
Oh, awesome.
So those are the only two she's missing. Otherwise, she has the entire run, and even then, she has one as a facsimile edition, which is a 1-to-1 reprint. So,
Right.
uh,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
awesome.
she wanted you to know that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
super cool. I love that stuff. I actually, when I was in Orlando, during MegaCon, I got the Universal Monsters runs that recently came out, and I got there was like 4 issues of Swamp Thing,
mhm.
and then I'm trying to remember, there was like several Universal Monsters that I got, and the books look and are awesome. They're really cool in this new run.
Yeah, Queen Comics Life I think has a couple of the Dracula ones. It was just
Yeah.
we're very touch and go in terms of because unfortunately like a couple years ago I had to sell most of my collection, and it's just how
Oh,
it goes. It's life, man.
right.
But so
That's how it
we're
goes.
just
Yeah.
it's kind of a gentle back and forth in terms of new comics, because
Right.
especially because we don't know what we're gonna get nowadays. In terms of, is it
Right.
gonna be good? Is it gonna be filled with a bunch of self-insertionist bullshit or whatever? So
Right.
like we've been kind of going back on not really going to get new books, but now that I have the show and now that I have the pull list, I eventually gonna start getting like probably
Right.
20-30 books a month again.
Right. Right. And it'll be easier, yeah,
It
to know
adds
what.
up.
Oh, it absolutely adds up. That's my problem, was I was just collecting way too many at one time a while back.
Yeah,
But yeah, I miss it when I was regularly collecting, and I want comics to be good again for sure. And there are plenty of good things still out there. You just got to know where to look, and that's why I'm hoping down the road with Criticless. Video games are probably going to be the next thing to come to our platform, but
for
at
sure.
some point, getting books and they're in comic books, that would be something I would love to do.
That's what's up. And yes, I absolutely 100% accept your invitation to become the curator for when that happens.
There we go. Perfect.
I'm no Gary from Nerdrotic.
Right.
I'm a functional idiot in terms of my comic book knowledge, as opposed to Gary or anybody like
Right.
that. But
Right.
I hereby accept the position. Thank you.
Right. It's all right. He's got a few years on you. So
Oh yeah, well, and he owns
I
a
guess
shop
he's earned
too.
it.
So
Yeah, that'll
uh,
do it.
so as is tradition, my guest brings on
Mhm.
a little show and tell for them. I got to bring on some show and tell myself.
Sweet.
I got background for that. But what I have a couple things with me today. One thing, first and foremost, everybody who's a returning viewer, you guys know I love my boy Spider-Man, Peter Parker. That he's the GOAT in my mind, at least over at Marvel. So what I have
Yep.
is I have the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 52. The bag, the poly bag is really shiny, so everybody could kind of see what's going on back there. So
That's
but
awesome.
you know what? There we go. It's a little bit better, hopefully, for everybody. But yeah, it's iconic cover. Spidey knocked out in a chair with in a chamber filling up with water with J. Jonah Jameson tied up behind him. And basically, this issue is this is part 3 of the original appearance of the Kingpin. So Kingpin makes his initial appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number 50, continues in 51. The story closes out in 52. Kingpin's making his big move. He captured Spider-Man, captured J. Jonah Jameson. They were together at the time. And then throughout the issue, Spider-Man obviously ends up escaping, saving J. Jonah Jameson, takes down the Kingpin, and just when he thinks J. Jonah Jameson is gonna maybe have a little bit of a change of view of him, and maybe they can start mending that bridge and building that relationship, J. Jonah Jameson just goes, "Nope, you're a menace, Spider-Man. You're a menace." And he says, basically, you know what? Screw you. But yeah, it's I love Amazing Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man in general, but
me too. I
collect all 417 issues of the first run of Amazing Spider-Man.
That would be awesome. I have almost all of I can't remember which run it is of Wolverine. I have several hundred, like quite a few hundred.
Really?
Yeah, I went on during that big collecting phase.
Gotcha.
I went and I have original issues of a bunch of Wolverine comics. The problem is now some of my gaps might be harder to get than they were back then.
For sure.
But I've got some really Wolverine issues. And I my left leg, if it speaks to me being a real one in the comic space, I have my whole left leg is tattooed up. I have several DC characters and several Marvel characters, but the front of my leg, I've got Spider-Man, and then I got Wolverine, Magic from the X-Men, but then I've got Swamp Thing, Batman, and then Star-Lord on my entire back calf. So,
that's awesome, dude. That's an awesome lineup you got there. Is it safe to say that Wolverine's your favorite character?
Pretty safe, yeah. Okay. Wolverine's definitely up there. Yeah,
I have several hundred issues of Wolverine. I just wanted to make sure, but pretty safe.
He's kind of my OG. Him and Spider-Man are my big two. But Wolverine is definitely, I think, my biggest one. I do struggle because I've been burnt out on Hugh Jackman being Wolverine for a while, and so that's kind of dampened my like Wolverine love a little bit because I'm just ready for like a good live act. Not that he's not good, a different live action Wolverine.
His age is catching up to him, and we need some fresh blood in there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's retired like too many times now.
Well, I will say in Deadpool and Wolverine, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It's not my favorite of the 3 Deadpool movies, but it was good. Honestly,
Agreed.
Cavalrine.
Yes,
that's what we need. That's just what we need.
Right. The only thing is, like, there is a part of me that wants like a accurate Wolverine. Like, even though they make fun of it in that movie, like, it would be really cool to just have like a shorter dude that's just like jacked and is like the little guy, you know.
Are you familiar with who Kata is?
Kata, yes, I am.
We just need Kata. That's what we need.
Right. That's
we just need Kata to be Wolverine. I'll take a black Wolverine if it's Kata.
There we go.
But I did have one other thing I did want to show because obviously with caveat being a comic creator himself and just indie comics a bit. So this I got a few months ago. This is Black Phantom. Rocket's Red Glare by Chad Townsend, who's done work in animation for various Warner Brothers. I think he did did work on some Disney animation shows as well. But it's a great book. It's kind of like Captain America meets Deadpool. In terms of like it's World War II era set, but he's got a lot of similarities to Deadpool in terms of like his limbs, they don't regenerate, but like they reattach. He's undying basically, and then he's got a cool ability where he kind of like shapeshift into other people. But when he does that, he loses part of himself and part of his own memories. So he has to do that sparingly. But it's really cool. Just show off a little bit of the work on the inside. It's just beautiful, black and white throughout the whole book, except for like the first 2 pages. Some really great character design in there, and his animation background really shows, but it works in a good way in comics. And they bring that up is because Chad Townsend, his newest book, Black Phantom Holy Terror, he's just starting I backed that on Indiegogo months ago when the campaign first launched, but he's starting to do fulfillment now. And then the thing I like about Chad is that after he does his fulfillment for any backers on the platforms he just does the funding for the books for, he then has his own website that you can go and just pick up whatever he has available left in terms of inventory, in terms of what he got printed. So if you're into
That
indie
was cool.
comics, if you're into like kind of Deadpool-esque type of humor and World War II settings and stuff like that, go pick that up. And then I'm sure he's got Holy Terror going to be up on his website probably in the next couple of months. So, and he's got some other cool stuff. He's got a work in progress of a Ninja Turtles I don't want to say clone, but like a Ninja Turtles almost like inspired. I almost want to say parody.
Right.
They're like Midwestern mutant jackalopes or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's got that he's going to be working on next, which is really cool. But yeah, everybody go check
Sweet.
out Chad Townsend. But yeah, man. So let's get into. First let me pull my background I had. We'll just do that one. Why not?
There you go.
But let's get on into it. The next part, we're going to talk shop. So Blaine, you are, like I said, movie connoisseur. You have this awesome website, awesome platform, Criticless. Not just a website, it's a mobile app as well. People are able to go do movie and TV reviews. Where did the initial, I don't want to say idea, but like I guess the initial inspiration for wanting to start Criticless come from, and how did that come about?
Yeah, well, I mean, really, Rotten Tomatoes is who lit the fire under my ass. Really, it was. It's kind of one of those things. I was like, man, this is the industry standard, what everybody uses and does, but this thing sucks. Like, it's not good. It's a broken system. I don't like the rating scale. And this was all the way back when I was in college. It was funny. I had forgotten that I had even been planning on or wanting to do this for that long. And literally when I created this, one of my college buddies like reached out and was like, dude, you actually made that? Like, you were talking about this back in college and you freaking did it. And it was one of those things where I always wanted to do it. I was literally drawing up for how it worked and all this stuff. And then I started researching and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do this. Like, this is so unattainable. I'm not a developer. I don't code. I've been a blue collar guy most of my life. And in that world, and I was just like, this is going to be impossible. But circumstances changed. End up in a scenario where I sold my landscaping company, and we did some things. My wife endorsed it and was like, "Look, let's just go ahead and do it. You're going to drive me insane if you don't go ahead and just build this thing."
Well, and that's the major thing. You had her endorsement, so
Mhm.
that's the key thing. So huge shout out to Mrs. Criticless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
All
definitely.
the wives, all the supportive wives out there.
That's
Shout
true,
out.
because that's, you can't, if you're in a relationship and married and you guys aren't on the same page and doing something like this, it's nearly impossible. It would just be too hard. And this thing has been a massive commitment. And what really pushed me was finally, over the past like 5 to 10 years, where culture's just gone down the absolute drain. And we've seen entertainment just absolutely crumble. We saw comic books fall apart. We saw critics just completely lying and twisting the truth and misrepresenting things and pushing people not to watch films simply because it didn't toe the line or didn't fit a certain agenda. And we saw so much of that type of stuff, and I'd finally kind of with it. I'm like, okay, it's time. Like, I'm going to throw caution to the wind. I'm just going to put it all on the line and build this thing. And so we did it. And I found a dev team and we built it. And here we are now, several years later.
Oh,
No, you're
hold on a
good.
second. Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
Give me a second.
Hey, you're
I'll
good.
get you. I'll get you fixed. Hold on. There we
There
go.
we go.
I forgot to do that before we started. That was my bad. But yeah, you were saying.
No
I
worries.
just wanted to pull up. I wanted to pull up Criticless. I got your own Criticless actually pulled up here.
So. My account. Yep, exactly.
By the way,
and
nice nod to Tom there from my
dude. Yeah, gotta love it, man. And I think that was kind of the thing, is I wanted to lay my inspiration or wear my inspiration on my sleeve and kind of let everybody know, like, hey, I'm throwing back to the of MySpace,
Hold on 1 second. I'm
You're
getting
good.
waves from behind me.
You're good.
Oh, you're gonna go get a drink? Yeah. If you could bring me back something, that'd be great. I don't know, something caffeinated, I guess. Something caffeinated.
Why are you so difficult in this marriage?
I got
See?
because I, you know what, let me Blaine-splain something to you.
Yes, Blaine-splain it to her.
It's
I dare y'all
you-
get the
you-
hell out of you on camera.
because if I pick
Spoon?
if I pick something wrong, I'm gonna get hell for it.
No, you're not.
So just go ahead and get whatever you want to get me.
I'm gonna get the spoon. What am I get?
That works too. You want to get the spoon? Fine, get the spoon. She has a wooden spoon. She
Oh yeah.
she uses as a motivation for me to fall in love.
Oh, I knew exactly. Yeah, my wife. I think my wife's got a spoon too. So,
But no, but a cold or a nice coffee or something like that would be nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Green Comics. Yeah, we have because this show happens every other Thursday. It's a bi-weekly show. So what happens on alternating Thursdays is our show, Comics Couple Cafe, where the wife and I, we get on and we just talk to the chat, and about a third of the show is pretty much just that, except you can see both of us on camera. Oh God, like that.
of course. Yeah,
Except
there you
it's
go.
not as lovey. She puts on a
Yeah.
There we go. That's more like it. T. Davidson with the spoon.
Yep.
Motivation spoon. That's right. Yeah, comics.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
My bad.
You're good.
So, when did you actually officially launch Criticless? I mean, I assume it was not just something that came together overnight,
right? So
like you were saying.
Yeah, it took a year for us to build it, and that was one of those things. It was an interesting learning process, to say the least. But it took us a year to build it, and then we launched technically at the tail end of 2020. Oh, wait, let me think about this. I want to make sure I've got the right time period here, because the easiest way to kind of gauge is when this article came out. So yeah, it was in August of 2023. Was launched. So we've been out for a bit here, 23, 24, 25. So 2 full years out live. And then, it's been a fun ride. It's been a cool time. I have met so many neat people, and really it's funny. It's like this YouTube space that I found myself in and kind of integrated with the geeks and gamers and all of those folks. And even kind of spreading outside of that with like WDW Pro and those guys, all these different little segment buckets of all of these internet people. I didn't know about any of them before starting this. And
hey, you and me both, brother. It was
really,
I found out about Geeks Game Pro was my kind of introduction into the gateway of like everybody. And that was just a little over a year ago. And even then I was watching Pro and nothing but Pro and the affiliated channels for like the first 4 months of that. So I came across like Geeks and Gamers and Tripio and Beardo and all of them like maybe 2 months before I decided to start my own channel. So I'm with you there for the most part. I feel right there.
No, that's awesome. And that was the thing is I listened to during the time because I ran a trucking company, and then I ran a landscaping company before doing this. And so both of those jobs and businesses required a lot of listening to podcasts. And so it was me just, driving a semi truck or driving mowers or shoveling mulch, ever doing these things and just listening to the talking heads, listening to either movie podcasts and things or like movie podcasts and such, or listening to kind of political commentary and what was going on in the world. And I just kept hearing people, just continuously saying like, if you want things to change, if you want things to get better, like we've all got to put in whatever we can, put in our 10%, and put things on the line to help make better if you have a problem with where culture is. And that was kind of one of those pushes for me. So I was like, okay, fine. Like everybody keeps saying it. Fine. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to challenge like a really big notorious company, which is absolutely insane as a nobody. But I was just like, I know a lot of people feel the same way that I do, have a lot of problems with current culture and want to make things better. Don't like Rotten Tomatoes. And so here
Rotten
we are.
Tomatoes is just pure. It's pure shill slop at this point for the most part.
Just propaganda pushing. It's for
Deborah. Yes, absolutely. Everybody. Deborah dropped all Blaine's links in the chat. Go follow Blaine everywhere. Go set up a Criticless account. They're free. All that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely do all that. That I appreciate it. And that was the thing is I really did have to kind of start from scratch because I kind of joke on my X account of like on my handle of saying like I didn't have social media and then I started a social media company. It was kind of insane. Like I literally never used social media. I didn't even really use YouTube until after in this company.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a big leap of faith for stepping out on hoping that I knew what people wanted out of a platform like this.
Well, I know what somebody wants. Caveat wants you to
Right.
landscape
Hey,
his house.
listen, dude.
Well,
I,
and there you go. You've already been volunteered for it. So
I
this
know.
is Criticless. What's going on? Thank
That's
you so
right.
much for being here.
Yeah, I think Caveat does live a good ways away. That would be a heck of a drive. But Caveat, may at least give him some advice on how to make his grass look absolutely pristine. So there's at least that.
But outside of that service, you're definitely doing a service for everybody on the internet in terms
Yeah.
of just like I said in when I introduced you, just kind of an alternative to not just getting away from the paid shills that do movie reviews, but also I've noticed that it's a lot more. I don't want to say Elon X esque because
Right.
it's becoming less and less free speech over the last like 6 months or
Right.
so. But like people, I've found that people, including myself, have been able to freely express themselves in pretty much any way they want when giving reviews, which is great.
Right.
I
Yeah,
actually
and I
want
mean,
to.
that's kind of my thing is it's like if you're not breaking the law, and you're not going to get me in trouble as a platform owner with the law, then
Yeah.
I mean, give your opinion. We're not going to delete your account, and that does seem to happen a lot on all platforms that are even remote.
I just love that I was able to. This is my review of Jurassic World Rebirth that I wrote last week. I just love I was able to get away with this right here, called the D-Rex Retardosaurus. So,
Yeah.
I guess my only ask would be, because you can in the comments you can leave. Unless I've missed this completely, but I know in the
Mhm.
comments you could drop like gifs and images and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the
Yep.
reviews, I don't recall being able to do that. Is something that you can do in reviews?
Not gifs and images in your actual review, but you can if you do have a paid account or if you're one of our like content creator accounts where we have guidelines for that. It's really just like a blue check mark. How the old school way of doing it used to be for like follower accounts and whatever. But
Well, because I wanted to put this guy in my review.
yeah.
So.
Right. So you could technically stick. Yeah, that is great. You could stick that down in the comments, or you could put it in the water cooler section, which you probably haven't even discovered yet.
No, I've seen it. I played
yeah.
around with it. Unfortunately, I'm on here reading reviews fairly often, but I'm not on here
Right.
writing reviews really
Right.
as much as I'd like to yet. But I'm
Hey,
getting
you're
there.
fine.
I'm getting there.
No, it's good.
So
Everybody has their own way.
Superman's going in there, which
Heck
we'll get to.
Yeah, perfect. And it's one of those things where our platform has a lot of functionality. It can do a lot of things. People find out after being on it for months that it does more than they even realized it did. So it's kind of like you just discover and find out about it as you kind of chug along.
Just these badges are cool. Like just
Right.
a little way just for engagement with people that use the platform of various various achievements and whatnot. Like,
You've gotten a good bit of them.
Shake and bake. If you ate first, you're last.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't say how I get the achievement. It just you get a little badge. So hey, here's your badge. Okay.
Right. And so
I'm assuming it has something to do with Talladega Nights, though.
Yes. So that one shows. You're on my page. It actually doesn't have anything. Only one of those have.
Let me go to mine then.
Yeah, if you go to yours, so that one tells you how you got that one.
Okay, I was one of the first 100 reviewers on something.
Yep.
And I completed my first review. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. As you can tell, I have a lot of work to do.
Right. And if you go to see all on your account, it will actually tell you, it will give you hints. They're very cryptic, but they're
for sure.
Hints.
And I like that. I mean, granted, I mean, the hand holding is nice sometimes. Especially like, let's say I get most of these and I don't know how to get the last one. Like, I just want to know how to get the last one. Just
right.
tell me.
Well, and
but
the
I
good
do
thing
like
is,
that you got to kind of hunt for it a little bit, which is nice.
For sure. And we have groups that are set out that are their specific goal is to figure out how to solve these and get them and stuff too. So there's groups for everything in the app. And I saw some of the people in the chat asking too. We do have all movies and TV shows, all genres, whatever you can think of. They're in our database. It's very rare for you to not find here. So
yep, there, right there, Shaw Frogs.
Yep.
Yeah, all movie genres. Yep, and then And then TV shows, I know TV shows are. I mean, I'm assuming people use this more for the movie reviews than the TV shows, at least as of right now.
Yeah, there's more movies happening right now, but people use it a ton for TV
Yeah.
shows as well. And we get those a lot now. That's actually one of our biggest requests is to let them review by season. That is
Okay.
not something that's in the app. I didn't add it. I could have early on, and it was one of the more regretted things as far as not just building it in initially, just
Yeah.
because doing this whole thing is just a very expensive endeavor, and it would have been easier to do early on. So as it goes.
All right. Caveat: so you mean South Dakota, not San Diego? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have not as far to drive, at least east to west, but you got a bit of a drive up into the mountains, then, my friend.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then I like that you have the groups that you can join to and see what people are about different things. Here you go, the water cooler, like you were talking about.
And
So
there's a
this
water
is
cooler
just-
on every movie as well, where it's like if you go to a movies page, you could go to the water cooler for, say, Superman or Tommy Boy or something, and it's basically almost like a subreddit or something if you're on Reddit. Like, so it's just a posting wall for whatever piece of entertainment you're on.
Yeah, Tommy Boy. There we go. Oh,
There we
love
go.
Tommy
Yeah.
Boy. So good.
Yep. Beardo,
So good. Peak Chris Farley.
we reviewed that, and Beardo was not a big fan actually. So that was
No, you know what? He talks about being high T. You don't love Tommy Boy, you got some low T right there. That's just one man's opinion.
There you go.
Man being the operative word.
Yep.
Shout out to Fear the Beardo if he's watching, if he's lurking.
Yep.
It's okay. I forgive you, Beardo.
Oh, he knew.
I'm
he
not
was
looking
gonna
for your
catch-
forgiveness, but I forgive you for not liking Tommy Boy.
He knew he was going to catch crap for that one for sure. So, but he didn't totally hate it. I think he still gave it a rad. So that's not bad.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I guess I want to ask you about that. So let me just go to. I don't know. Let me just. What's trending? We're in trending already.
Oh, you're on the main feed. Yeah. So this
So
could be.
Let's just go. Because I just want to be able to show people kind of the rating scale. So.
Yep.
So you got heinous up to 19%, bogus up to 39%, decent up to 59%, rad up to 79%, and then most excellent. So obviously most Bill and Ted inspired, I'm assuming.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
One
And
of my wife's favorite movies, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
It's great. It's great. And we had to pull on, I was like, the whole site has this retro vibe. I wanted the scale to feel the same way. It's like going on the lingo. All of the internet is so boring and sterile and lame. And it's just like, why do we have to be that? If I'm going to spend this much money, if I'm going to make this investment, if I want to make a place where people want to be, then why not make it fun?
Yeah, dude. Especially if you're the one working. To be fun for you. I mean, you want it to be fun for everybody, but it's got to be fun for you first and foremost. Because if it's not fun for you, what's the point of doing it?
Exactly.
Whether it's doing something like this and building a business around it, or just doing something like I'm doing and just having fun on the internet like a complete retard. So
right.
So I will say my one thing is decent. Decent is like is there any maybe like I guess define decent because like some people decent could be like a 65 or a 70 and like but decent is like because I think in terms of school grades.
Exactly.
So decent is a failing score.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted everyone to get their like mind away from is it's like because if you think about it, you're like even if we were thinking about like, what if 50% of people liked a thing, right? If 50% of people liked something, your chances of liking it are probably about 50% of it being good or bad. And so that's kind of where I thought about this is like 50% isn't really bad. Like that's not a bad grade. And I think, like you said, everyone's mind is stuck in that school grade perspective. And it's like, why does a 50% have to be bad? It's just okay. It's
especially if you look at it in terms of taking the averages of everybody's scores. Yeah, I definitely get that. It's just the first time I saw it, it was a little like, oh, well, decent. Like a 45 is decent. What the hell are you smoking? But as I saw how people were kind of talking about the things that they were rating as decent, it made more sense.
Yeah, I think it clicks more. You spend a little time in there, and I think it's grown on people a lot because, even on other sites or wherever, where it's like if I see a middling review, it's like that doesn't mean I'm gonna hate it, and it also doesn't mean I'm bad. It's bad, and also in my opinion, it's like if a movie's in the 50% range
Yeah.
or anything, it's like that's not terrible. Like it might be worth seeing. It might not mean it's the best thing ever made, but it doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's
yeah,
because and that's kind of when I went in, because you could see like at first I was
right,
like I
really
was like
high,
Transformers, okay, 40. I
right,
looking back, I probably should have put that lower. Because like I was like, oh well decent, like okay, I guess there's some things to enjoy about it, but I probably should have put that lower though. But
right,
then I
right.
feel like I have an accurate representation and a better grasp of the scale now, especially when I
Hmm.
went to go do had a rebirth here. Because honestly, I
Right,
felt 50 was, yeah, I mean it is decent. Because I mean
right.
it was, the way I looked at it is if you take out pretty much half the movie, it's a good movie. So
Right. Right. And that's the thing that I've found is now that we're growing and we're getting substantial amount of reviews coming in and whatever, it's like people see our scores and it's like even for something like Superman, people versus how all these other sites work. I feel like when people see like even with Superman being in the 50s, like even people that love it or hate it are like, it's still fair. It's not
yeah.
bad. Like it's not like this was review. It doesn't feel like it was review bombed. It feels more like people were being fair. And
Mhm.
so I think that that's what kind of resonates with people is in the larger scale, it seems to be working for people, which makes
Oh,
me
for sure.
happy because it was kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of shooting out in the dark and hoping that my thought process on line up with what worked for other people.
Well, and then especially when you're looking at something like basically who you intend to dethrone eventually, Rotten Tomatoes,
Hmm.
you either have fresh or rotten. There is no in
Right.
between. So
Right. And in what world is stuff either good or bad? Like never.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Ne-
look at literally everything going on around us outside of
right.
our everyday lives. There's always
Exactly.
lots of good and lots of bad and a lot of in between. So,
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
but
So,
so
and
what
actually,
is? No,
no, go ahead. You're good. You're fine.
no, I was just gonna say. So I know you were talking about like video games is the next logical step.
Yeah.
Um, like what goes into that? Like, do you have to go and get like even for setting up the movies and TV shows
Right.
initially, did you have to go and get permissions from like various companies to be able to like create even to be able to say, hey, I want people to review your or like how
Right.
does that whole thing work? Is it really, I mean obviously the coding and creating the website itself is very time consuming, but like in
Right.
terms of how, like because I've never understood that about movie reviews sites and stuff like that. I never knew if it was like, oh, you could just, because yeah, licensing and copyrights and all that stuff, but all you're doing is writing a review. So in my mind I was like, oh
Right.
well, this is people just throw this stuff up willy-nilly, it's no big deal. But then I think I heard you say a while ago on Monday Hangover, when you were talking about like even wanting the video game set up and everything, that it's kind of
Mhm.
more of a process. Yeah, there's certain entities that have to be reached out to and whatnot. So like kind of, can you walk through that process and what that's like?
Yeah, the biggest catch there for that is your database. Like, where are you pulling all this information from, right? And does the database already exist, or like has someone already made it? Have a collective of people made it? So we for our movies and TV shows, we actually use a company that has already made a database with all of this information, these photos, these all of this information, and
Gotcha.
basically we pull from that database and use that. Now, I want to eventually stop using them and have our own database for this stuff so that we don't have to rely on them and we can change and alter things as we want
Gotcha.
with the actual information, like the hard data. With
Okay.
video games, what we are trying to do is we are trying to get like what's considered like an open source database, where basically we just take that whole database and then we say ours and then we build from there. That's
Okay.
so that then
Fair
we are
enough.
untethered. But the problem is that most of the databases that are connected to movies are very strict, and you can't just be like, "I'm taking this and building on it." It's like if I'm using this at all, then I have to keep using it. So there's some complexity around that. But all of this is stuff I kind of had to learn as we went along, and figure out. And so there is definitely some complications to that.
What's going on, Risket? Hail
Everything.
Blade, hail Comics fan. What's up, brother? But yeah, if well, because I know you said eventually just the progression, video games, and then maybe books, and then with that
Yep.
comic books.
Yep.
There's a guy that, and I'll send you like his X link or something like that later on. There's a guy that is creating that is working on creating his own comic book database, actually.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe that's something that, like, I know you're saying you want to just have your own database, or for like, especially for the video games and stuff, but like,
Right.
I mean, the dude's just starting working on it. He's only one dude working on it. So I mean, I'll put
Really?
you in, if I can put you in touch with
Yeah.
him. You can talk to him, maybe see how, because eventually I'm gonna have him on the show at some point. It'll probably
Okay.
won't be until next year at this point, because I'm pretty
Right.
much booked out through November right now.
Hey.
But I want to have him on the show at some point. And now that you're talking about that,
Yeah.
and like I said, I know you want to do your own internal thing, but maybe that's a good opportunity for you guys and for him as he's
Right.
trying to build it out. Who knows? Maybe a little opportunity for everybody across the board. There,
Right.
but
Some
yeah,
cross pollination or something.
yeah, I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you his info. I'll send you his X, because his DMs are open on X. So
Okay.
I'll shoot you his links later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So what is I gotta ask, and I don't even want to cheat and look at your Criticless. I just want to ask you directly.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man.
I'm
that
assuming
is-
you've gotten this question a lot, considering what you do. So
Yes, I have and do, and it's still a complicated answer every time people ask, because I have a lot of favorite films.
Mhm.
And like we were talking about earlier, I don't watch things over and over again. But there are few films that I have seen many times. And really, it's like, if somebody was like, gun to your head, what's your favorite film? I'd probably say Fight Club.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah, I'd probably say Fight Club, but there are so many kind of on that list of like these upper echelon of films that I just really love, and a lot of them are more obscure indies. But also kind of in that vein, another one that I really, really love a lot, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim is great. It's just kind of one of the most comic booky things ever made.
It really was. I really
and-
loved it at the time when it came out, and it just
Right.
I think it just doesn't get enough love. It doesn't
It
get enough
doesn't.
credit.
It doesn't, and that's one of my favorite directors as well. Edgar Wright is excellent, and so he's easily one of my favorites. So that's definitely up there. And there are some that are kind of in for me that I still need to kind of go back to see where they rank next to things like Fight Club, where it's like, at one time I might have said Donnie Darko. Or there are other films like that, but now that I've gone back and seen some of them through this time, they kind of move up and down the list some. But the quickest, easiest answer is probably Fight Club.
Fair enough. And then I'll hit you with a follow-up. Favorite
Yeah.
comic book movie. You are here right now.
I am here, and we're talking comics. Honestly, I think it's probably even
And
like,
you can hit me with something like Sin City or Hellboy too. That's fine. You don't got to stick with
right.
me too.
No, for sure. Yeah. And I do love all of those a lot, but I think really it's like, as far as a singular standalone entity,
Mhm.
it might be Guardians of the Galaxy. The first
The
one.
first one. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Now,
sense.
honestly, though, I think that 2 is wildly underrated. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is actually much better than people give it credit for.
I can see that. I've been seeing some people say that as of late, especially with James Gunn being
Yeah.
back in the limelight and topic of conversation recently.
Right.
And so people have been having those conversations again about the Guardians movies. I can see
Yeah.
why people say that. I still put that as third out of the 3. I mean, it's not bad.
Really?
I didn't hate it. I really did. I didn't hate
Right,
it. It
right.
just I think, and I appreciate that he tried to go with a different tone and a different theme
Yeah.
and everything. I just think what the tone that he set in the first one and how
Right.
high that bar was with those themes and that tone that he set, I feel like doing almost a complete 180, or maybe not a 180, but maybe like a 90-degree turn on that, a sharp 90-degree turn on that may
Right.
not have been the best move.
Right. No, and I totally get that too. And another one that's up there as far as at least just like singularly with MCU, like Winter Soldier is also like way up there. That movie is
Yes.
so
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
It's so good.
And we need, and I hate what they have done with Bucky since. It just,
Yeah.
I mean, Civil War, that was like peak Bucky, and then we had that
Mhm.
god awful Disney Plus show. I haven't even seen
Yes.
Thunderbolts yet.
I'll say this. I Thunderbolts quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
I'm in the camp of people that liked it. I think I gave it a most excellent, actually.
All right, because
It is
where I'm at with that is just you go on and continue about Thunderbolts for just a second, but just the reason why
yeah.
I haven't seen it, it's just price movie theaters like we were discussing before we went
Mhm.
live, but then also it just I can't with Marvel anymore. I can't do it.
I know
I just
they've
can't.
dropped the
It's
ball.
so hard to want to shell out money to just go see a movie that is likely not gonna be a complete dog turd.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I agree, and I really struggle with that too because I used to be just like such a fanboy of all the MCU stuff, and then for how far they fell off, it's just been very disappointing. Because even like my wife brought up in the comments where it's like even the Netflix shows were great. Like Luke Cage was awesome. Daredevil's was my show. Like,
Oh yeah,
like her and I watched Punisher together. She loved Punisher. Like that was a great show. It was like they were just knocking everything that they did out of the park, and then it was just it's
well,
not been
because
so
even
good.
though it was owned by Disney, Disney didn't have its grubby hands all over it.
Right.
It was these
right.
are all Disney employees doing all this stuff, the Disney Plus shows, the movies, all that stuff. So it's you're gonna get Disney quality crap 9 times
Right.
out of 10 nowadays, unfortunately. But yeah,
Right.
Luke Cage was a great show on Netflix.
Mhm.
What was it? Iron Fist, in my opinion, was probably the weakest of the 4.
It was, and I still think that I did
And it
not
still was
think it
decent.
did not deserve the hate it got. There's been much
No,
worse shows than that show.
no, for sure. But yeah, Daredevil on Netflix was peak.
Yes.
That was peak Marvel TV, and
Right.
unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get that again. But Riskett said, "Blaine, good choices, but the correct answer is Criticless. To Criticless is coming to America."
Right. Yeah.
Classic
That's
Eddie
it.
Murphy. I love that one.
That's right. It's a good one.
And then there was one other one that I started. Here it was. Shaw Frog says, "I cannot watch Minecraft because it has those dang bangs, and I can't look at him. He's awful." Do you mean Jason Momoa or
Oh,
do you mean Jack
Momoa.
Black?
Yeah, she probably means the bangs on Momoa.
Fair
I will
enough.
say this: I had a lot of fun with Minecraft.
Did you?
Yes, I actually enjoyed it a lot. I think that people were way too hard on that movie. That was one of the most fun theater experiences I've had in years. We saw it on
is it
opening
because
night.
you had the kids yelling popcorn and bringing a chicken into the theater? Is
Yeah,
that why?
right. No, that wasn't a thing yet because we saw it opening night, so it hadn't started. But it was a wild theater experience. And I'll say this also: like when I was in high school, Napoleon Dynamite came out. This is
Oh,
the
for
same
sure.
director. Minecraft feels like Napoleon Dynamite. It is just a dumbass movie. Like
Okay.
it's dumb.
And I
Like,
think that's where you and I kind of diverge a little bit. Like Napoleon Dynamite at its time, and considering where we were in our lives at that time, phenomenal movie. I saw about maybe 20 minutes of Napoleon Dynamite probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I just sat there and I was like, okay, I have memories of chuckling at this. I can't sit through this damn movie. I cannot do it.
it's so stupid. I saw it so many times back then that there was no point in which I was going to even forget any of it. So it's kind of, I don't know. And it felt a lot like that, just stupid. So, you appreciation for really dumb stuff, or it's like, man.
No, for sure. And there are dumb movies that definitely need to be placed on a pedestal.
Right.
I probably more for what it achieved than in terms of its
Right.
staying power, in my opinion.
Right.
But
And that's my thing. It's like anything that's putting people back in the theater or causing like a theater wide meme.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Let's go.
It was wild. It was wild seeing all that, all those mostly, prepubescent horny little teenagers in the theater
Right.
throwing chickens and popcorn and all that. But then at the same time, it kind of ruins the watching experience for people that wanted to just sit and have a good time too. So you got your back and forth with that. But to be fair, since I asked you those questions, I'll answer those questions myself.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you, so I'm glad you are.
Yeah. So I'll start with favorite comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's a tired answer, but it's the best answer. It's
Okay.
It's Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi. It's
Okay.
It's got to be Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Just Alfred Medina as Doc Ock, and just everything about that movie was fantastic.
Right. I kind of feel that way
I
about
still
Spider-Man
hate the
1.
casting of Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson to this day.
Mary
I still
Jane
hate it.
is a villain through that entire series.
Yes.
I stand on that. Mary Jane Watson is a villain. But
for sure.
I mean, I will. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were like Spider-Man 1, for me, like 100% most excellent, like
Yeah.
chef's kiss, perfect film. I loved 2 back when it came out. I've seen it since. I still love it, but I don't actually like it as much as 1.
Okay.
And I like 3 much better than I did back when it came out. When it came out, I was like, "This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen." And
Well,
now I'm
since
like,
you mentioned 3, we haven't
"Yeah,
gotten any donos or anything, but I'll play it anyway
mhm,
just because you mentioned 3. Because I have
perfect."
a little thank you dono for when people hit with the donos. But because Bully Maguire is the best Maguire, best
Dude, I I honestly, I love all that stuff now. Like it is aged like a fine
Oh
wine.
yeah, it
Like
was so cringe initially seeing it,
it
and
was
it got so much hate, but now it's so memeable and it's
right,
amazing.
right. We actually, funny enough, on yesterday, we rated the best Spider-Man characters for that series. Yes, that's an
Good
excellent
choice,
film.
Risket. Good choice.
Yeah, we rated all of the best. I would also do that. I mean, hey, maybe I did bring the chicken, but and
Chickens in
Gwen,
Minecraft. That's what you missed. Caveat.
that is what you missed. Gwen Stacy won as the best character in that entire Spider-Man franchise, simply because the actress and the character Stone Cold Fox. That's why
Yeah.
she won.
Oh,
So the best Gwen Stacy.
yeah. Thank God the Queen is not home right now to bring a spoon
Right.
in and hit me. But yes,
Right.
absolutely. A-okay.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Big time.
I will say, Emma Stone was a fantastic Gwen Stacy in
Mhm.
her own right in Amazing Spider-Man.
Absolutely. She was.
And
She did a really good job.
and I'm so sad that I'm so sad that obviously comic book accurate to an extent. She
Right.
went out. I just wish it didn't happen in the second. I wish they go full proper trilogy. And I
Right.
mean, and I know they wanted to stay away from Green Goblin and all that stuff because the Sam Raimi movies
Right.
did it in the initial, and Harry following up in the third. But like,
Yeah.
I wish they just did it properly with
Yeah.
Green Goblin kicking her off I want to say it was the Brooklyn Bridge. It was either the Brooklyn or George
Right.
Washington. They look the damn same.
Right. Bridge is a
But
bridge,
yeah, exactly. And then just Spider-Man just last second trying to get her, thinks he's got her, and ground that actually killed her, her head impacting the ground, like what they did in Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was
Right.
actually whiplash from just the pure, because she, I guess, must have hit terminal velocity or close
Right.
to it.
It snapped her neck.
By the time Spider-Man's web got to her when he shot down to her, and then it was just whiplash that snapped her neck and then killed her almost instantaneously.
Right.
But
Right.
but yeah, we needed a third Amazing Spider-Man. And then the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, I have no complaints about them for the most part, except for
Right. MJ's was the worst thing about all those movies, and I think that Zendaya is like a wet noodle. Like I just don't like. She does nothing for me. She hasn't done anything for me in anything I've seen her in thus far. And she,
well, it's her and that other guy too that just Marvel seems to be loving pushing in front of, and not just Marvel, but Hollywood in general seems to be pushing in front of us. This guy right here.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
I love playing that.
oh, dude, that's one my wife quotes regularly around the house. So yeah, why are you gay?
And then
It's
when he
so
wore those
funny,
boots. Oh damn! But
dude.
This is
He's
all doesn't matter. Let's get gay already.
I had to play that for Mrs. Criticless.
There you go. Yep, perfect.
But yeah, so yeah, favorite comic book movie, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, and then favorite movie of all time for me is The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay, good one. Very good one.
When Jay first started the Monday Hangover, when I was watching it pretty regularly, for like maybe a month straight, I was just like, "Yo, Shawshank Redemption when? Shawshank Redemption when? Shawshank when?" And I haven't gotten it, so I don't know. Maybe I gotta go back. Maybe I gotta go back in there and just start hounding him in the chat. Well, also I've had Mo on the show. I've had you on the show now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be next month. I'm gonna be on Sevi's show that she does with her thing. So I mean, I've got Jonas is actually gonna be on the show next month. So
Sweet.
like I've got 2/3 of the people in my pocket now. Maybe you guys could press J and get Shawshank ready for
I know what is it going to take? Well, and he keeps sidestepping movies as well due to like holiday or like whatever is like an anniversary, or because it's like we threw in an Indiana Jones,
Yep.
we're throwing in
Goonies,
yep.
Transformers.
Yep, and we're about to do Back to the Future. There's some kind of anniversary for that.
Yep.
So we keep having stuff jump in line. So yeah, that's typical Jay, but
So let's hop into, I guess, the big thing that was on the agenda, besides obviously talking about the website and everything, which honestly, kudos to you going out there, taking a chance, making a stand, setting up this whole platform here, which also create a Criticless account either at criticless.com or also download the app on your phone or your tablet.
Yeah.
I like using it on my tablet for reading reviews, but for rating reviews, me personally, I prefer sitting at my computer just because, I got fat thumb syndrome with my phone. So that's just me.
Right.
But go
Yeah.
download the app, create an account, all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Go
Yep.
support this man and his company, his friends, his family by doing all the
Yes.
things with the website. And then
Yes.
also merch, Criticless
Yeah.
merch. It all looks cool. So
Yeah,
I
we've
plan
got
on getting
awesome
it at some
merch.
point because I'm a hat guy.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. Between our hats and then our shirts, I got actually like one of our shirts was designed by one of the guys that does art for Liquid Death. One of our
Really?
guys, yep, it's the one with the tentacles. And then he also did the shirt. There's with a tiger and stuff on it. It's really cool. And then another guy who's a very like yeah. We've got another guy that did art for us who's did a bunch of art in the app as well. He did art for the Strokes and did some stuff for their concerts and stuff.
Oh,
So we've
neat.
got some really cool people attached to our art and our shirts and in the app and all of that. I wanted to work with like-minded artists kind of out in the space that are indie people, and so they did. I've worked with some really neat people, and I plan to do more as well because it's about keeping the vibe for the whole site and all that.
For sure. Well, what is it? My recommendation would be tap Jay on the shoulder and ask him to put you in touch with Eric if you haven't spoken to Eric Hodson.
Right.
Comic book artist
Right.
Eric Hodson. Eric
Oh, yeah.
does great work. I've had him on the channel a couple of times myself.
No, we're
Eric's
homies.
a great
Yeah,
dude, and he has fantastic art. So
I agree. Yeah, I need to talk to him and see if he's done anything like that because we're buddies now, and I met him in Orlando. He's a good dude.
nice.
So yeah,
I got to get to one of those damn meetups. We
Yeah.
were gonna maybe try to long shot shoot for Dallas, but things went
Mm-hmm.
on in real life that just kind of took the wind out of our sails at the last moment for that. So now my hope is hoping I could get the MegaCon next February or next March whenever they're doing it. That is my
Right.
hope. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. And then I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking what 7 months. Yeah, 7 months from now, I think. So don't
Right.
know if you plan on being down for that or whatever, because I think you're
Yeah.
somewhere in the northeast, southeast there. So
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. So
okay,
yeah, well,
it's a bit further from me. I'm up in PA.
Okay, yeah, so you got a little bit of a trek.
And
but
I've
yeah,
done it
I'm
before. 14 hours one way. I could do it.
right. It's not honestly further because I think for us it's that's a bit. It's like I think 8 or 9 for us. So and I typically drive, but yeah. So I'll after a traumatic flying experience a couple of years ago, I've quit flying. But
yeah, I'll tell the truth. I had to get on a plane the beginning of last year for work. I'm just too fat. I mean, I'm not like spilling over into the seats or whatever. I still fit in the seat, but like I felt because I had an old lady on one side of me. I had 2 very kind elderly women on both sides of me, so I just felt like, especially because of them sitting there, I had to do this like basically the whole damn time
right
on the flight.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those seats aren't exactly big, anyways, and it's like I'm not like a massive guy, but I'm also 6 foot tall, so my knees are always hitting the seat in front of me, and
Same
it's
here.
like this sucks.
But,
so.
Let's see. So let me get into some of these comments, and then we'll talk Superman real quick. So
sure.
Spawn is a close second for him.
Spawn's great.
Spawn was excellent movie, excellent comic book movie. Superman 2 is the best Superman movie.
Yeah.
Riskett says so gay. I'm assuming he's talking about Superman. We'll get into that. Caveat says Amadeus is my favorite movie. Blaine still needs to say it. I've never
really
seen
wants
Amadeus
me to
either. I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
Not happy he switched to Superman last week at the last minute. Oh, on Monday Hangover, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Heading home with my cold brew. I love it.
Yeah.
And then so Queen and exactly. So Queen Comics wife, she shared her thoughts real quick on Superman because for anybody who doesn't know, who didn't see on X today, we went to go see Superman today. We went to go see a matinee. We decided to save actually a pretty decent chunk of change. We saw it in IMAX, and us and the kids, I think it was like $37 for all of us to see it in IMAX for 11 o'clock show.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So well worth that money. I hate paying full price editors nowadays regardless, but definitely well worth it. But Queen Comics Wife said Superman was absolutely fantastic. For the people who said it sucked, there's something wrong with them, because in my opinion it was awesome. So
Yeah.
Queen Comics Wife doing some Blaine splaining right there.
Yep. That's right. That's right. Tell them how it is. Tell them tell them how they're wrong. Let them know.
It's straight. Brisket says, Blaine, if y'all aren't doing anything on Saturday, I'm meeting with Mo Zamboni at the Southeast Game Exchange in Greenville.
Oh man.
If you go there, or anybody who's going there, go stop by Real Fake Wizard. He's doing, I think, a panel there, and I think he's also I think he might have a table there. I'm
really?
not for selling anything. I know he's doing a panel there. And so he'll probably be walking around. I don't know if he'll be walking around in his hat and beard, but at least go to the panel, go say hi, and tell him ComixDad say it. Even though you're there of your own accord, spending your own money to get into the con, tell him ComixDad sent you anyway.
I didn't know that was happening. I'm gonna have to talk to Mo, because Mo, Mo's not far from me at all. I didn't even know that this was happening. If they're all going, risk it. I'll have to see, and if Wizard's gonna go, because I heard he was in South Carolina too. So we're all kind of fairly close together. All of us, right here in this area, need to connect. So
and that's what sucks about being up here in like the Northeast. I'm not like in the proper like New England Northeast, but I consider PA Northeast still. And it sucks because like a lot of the people that are in all these overlapping communities, like a lot of them are in the Southeast there, and I just feel like I'm missing out. I'm like, guys, come on north. I mean, we're not all crazy libtards. Come on up.
Right.
Most are, but not me. I promise.
Right.
No, let's talk to King Advisors. You know what? I'll put Blade up, and you guys could just make plans. How about that?
Right, there we go.
The rest of the but so I know you and your boys over on Criticless Cast, your YouTube channel. You talked about Superman last week. I know everybody's been talking about Superman since it released last week. And there's been a lot of headbutting between people within our own sphere.
Yeah.
And so I saw it. My wife saw it. Now I've been open about this on my show, the weekly pull list. I'm not a huge DC guy. Like, I know slightly more than the average person probably about Superman, but not much. Like, I know most of my Superman knowledge comes from like some 90s Superman comics, and then the animated shows and the movies from over the decades. Whoop.
No, you're good. I'm still here. Sorry. Sorry.
The timing was perfect. I got my nice cold brew here.
I was about to end up sticking my whole face in the camera, so I just turned it off for a second so that nobody had to endure that.
Delicious. Thank you.
Yeah, Superman.
See.
But
awesome. I'm glad she liked it.
Yeah, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest DC fan. I'm not the biggest Superman fan. And part of that is because, like, well, he's the Man of Steel. Nothing can hurt him except for kryptonite. Okay, Doomsday kicked his ass kicked his ass a bit. But like, for the most part, the dude is invincible and invulnerable, kind of boring to me. Although his morals and what he stands for and everything, the underlying themes behind Superman, always been able to get behind. So that's great. I went into this with especially the false flagging by libtard journos about like, oh well, it's about an immigrant story and this, that, and the other, and trying to politicize everything when that's not what was going on.
No.
So like, with all that going on, and then like I said, people within our own sphere, like I know like Jonas and his crew at Pro and that Park Place have a much differing opinion on this, as opposed to like Jeremy and the Geeks and Great Gamers. Like, they two completely different views for the most part on the movie, and like respectfully butting heads for the most part. So I went into this just basically with an empty mind, not expecting anything except for, I just hope it's worth my money. And I will say it was absolutely worth my money. David Cornsweet, I mean, maybe not in terms of actual physical appearance in the face, but just the way they carried himself. He was Superman. He's
Superman.
He pulled it off.
Absolutely. And I even think in the face he looks like, there were moments, there's actually a scene, without spoilers, where I thought that he was Henry Cavill. Like,
really?
There's a long-haired scene, I'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought,
okay, I got you. Yeah.
With his facial structure and that long hair and how he looked, I thought it was Cavill. And it kept going, and I'm like, is it Cavill? Because they have a similar facial structure, and I think Cavill is like the perfect Superman. I mean, the dude he's a god among men. He's no man should look that good. Like it's just, but I mean, even with like Corn Sweat, like he did an excellent job. I honestly thought every last solitary bit of casting in this film was impeccable, outside of maybe Hawk Girl. I'm not sold, but some of that honestly had to do with just how that character depicted, and I didn't dislike Hawk Girl. I'm just not sold yet.
I'm trying to play with the there we go.
No, you're good.
Superman review, and we'll even talk things in the movie. I just want to throw that up in there. But before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe or follow, depending upon what platform you're watching on. If you're new here to the channel, I hope you're all enjoying the show tonight. Besides this, I have a show that I do alternating weeks with my wife. We do just kind of talking topics, current events, bullshitting with the chat, comics. Go check out my wife, Queen Comics Wife, on YouTube and on Rumble. Also on Sundays, I have a weekly show where I talk new comic books coming up for each and every week. I give it my personal recommendations, and then I throw some gaming streams in there too. So go check out all the stuff. Come back anytime for when I'm live. Hopefully by the end of the month, new pre-recorded like long form videos are coming. I want to up my editing game before I do that, but hopefully by the end of the month. But all right, got that out of the way. Nice. We can get back into this.
Yeah. Also, I want to say,
leave and not have spoilers.
Right. And to John Ambler, I'm right there with you. I'm going hard, buddy. That's why I had to turn off the camera a minute ago. So, I'm sipping over here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Whee! That's how I know he's already having a good time.
He's on the whiskey. Yep.
Yeah.
He's feeling it.
John Ambler's good. So. Brisket says, I'm most annoyed when obvious established canon is broken with flagrant disregard.
That's where I struggle too. I get some of that.
Yeah.
But also, like, for example, with the he did spend a lot of time having a lot of dedication to canon throughout the film with all the characters, and the biggest complaint from people is the stuff with his parents. And I would argue two things, first of which being technically there is one comic book run where that stuff with his parents and why they sent him to Earth is actually canon. So there is that.
Well,
but
then you get to the argument of, well, run is it, which depending upon what run it was and who the writer was. Some runs are canon, some runs aren't. Especially DC does a lot of like alternate timeline stuff, like not necessarily. I mean, we'll call it what it is. Basically, multiverse bullshit like Marvel pulls. They just don't call it that. But so depending upon who you ask, yes, it's canon. No, it's not. It's like I see the argument for both sides.
Right.
The way that I looked at it was that and like I have. Oh, is the banner gone already? Stay up, damn it.
There you
go. But the way I look at it is that spoiler alert. So first and foremost, the message it read, obviously the first half of like we love you, we love people, be good to people, be the hero, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Remember where you're from, love Krypton, love us, we love you no matter what, blah blah blah. Save us, save the people of the planet you're going to, whatever. And then the second half of the message has never been able to be, was damaged when he landed on Earth as a baby. Lex Luthor and apparently a bunch of linguists from across the world apparently were able to decipher an alien language that nobody on the planet speaks.
Right.
And somehow they just miraculously happened to get the first half of it right, and then it continued to like, well, you will rule over the world, you will breed a new race of Kryptonians with their women, this, that, the other, blah blah blah. You will rule over them, you will save them, they will worship you or die or blah blah blah, whatever. My couple of things on that are, it may not necessarily be his parents saying that. It could be there's been theories about maybe it's Brainiac that's behind that. Maybe that corrupted the message, or not even necessarily directly. Maybe it's Brainiac was in the system of Luthor Corp when they were going through the data and trying to reconstruct it. Maybe Brainiac was in Corp's servers and network and kind of did his own thing while they were in there. The other thing is, it also could have just been Luthor Corp just being a bunch of bullshit about it, and Luthor didn't own up to it in the movie. Because again, my thing is, you have several dozen linguists looking at it. It's an alien language. Like, it kind of sounded like kind of sounded Eastern European or maybe a little bit of Middle Eastern or something like that. So
Yep.
it was kind of kind of
There's
lazy
no
in
way
a
to
sense.
Right. Well, and the thing is, as well, is I just feel like it could easily be walked back at some point. Like you said, that
Yeah.
it was something else. And they left it very open for that because the only confirmation we got was Mr. Terrific being like, oh, well, I know the linguist that, looked at this and there's
Yeah.
no way that could be wrong. But it's like, but also maybe there is. Like, we don't know. And so, I mean, Gunn is such a hardcore comic guy that I don't see him just totally abandoning canon like that without a good reason,
Yeah.
because of even how much the rest of the
There's
film stuck to it.
and we know there's got to be something more to it coming in the future. I mean, what is it? What was it here? David Zaslav even talked about when he hired James Gunn. Like, there's basically what
Right,
this is talking about is there's a 10-year plan. We
right,
know we're going to see Superman multiple times in this 10-year plan.
right,
So
right,
they got to come back to it at some point, and we're
right.
going to find out more about it.
And there's
Hey,
a good
Dreams
chance we'll see
Uncharted.
him in.
Webb, what's going on, brother?
There's a
Just
good
real
chance we'll
quick,
see him in Supergirl.
yeah, very true. At least for maybe a couple of scenes. But real quick,
Right.
everybody, go check out dreamsuncharted.com. Dreams Uncharted Webb. He's a friend of the channel. He's an independent comic book creator. He has an interesting way of funding his stuff. It's basically by page. But just go check out his stuff. He released a new page of was it the Rogue Wave pirates, Marauder. All of his stuff's good. He's got good stuff coming to creature capture title, Xenozoans, fantasy adventure title, Snipe Hunter, all sorts of good stuff. Dreamsuncharted.com. Go check them out. All right, that was my plug for my buddy. Anyway,
No worries.
no, but back to Superman. It was,
Yeah.
and I felt like a lot of the trailers that we saw, or not a lot, but there was one in particular that I saw that initially put me off to it, and it was the
Right.
whole Lois interview scene.
Right.
And the fact that the way that it was portrayed in that little bit that they gave us as like a teaser versus how it played out in the movie, two completely different ways you see it.
Right.
And
It was out of context.
Yeah, and I feel like that the marketing definitely failed this movie in a sense.
Absolutely. I don't
If
even
the
know that they should
marketing
have
was on
shown
point,
any of that.
yeah, if the marketing was a bit tightened up, if James Gunn didn't go out there and talk himself as much as he did, I think this movie would probably be trending a bit better. Granted, a lot of that has to do with the liberal access media as well, but
Right. And I mean, honestly, too, and I was talking with someone earlier today on a show where it's like we've reached this point as well in the more like conservative leaning space where, and it's as like Midnight's Edge kind of described it, where it's like, are we chasing ghosts? Like, have we gotten so used to looking for problems that now, like, even when there aren't any, we're still just looking for problems?
yeah,
Like that is a problem in itself, and it is very reminiscent of what like the people that we call woke were doing for so long, where it's like they had problems with everything and they were looking for issues where there weren't any. And
yeah,
it's like we've also got to make sure that if you're on the other side of the coin, that you're not doing the same thing or you're not just doing it for clicks, because it's not worth it, in my opinion. Like, it's just, let's just be honest and transparent. Like, don't overly nitpick, don't blow things into out of proportion, which it doesn't need to be. And I've caught and a lot of this stuff, but I'm going to stick to it. And it's kind of how I've always been about this stuff, where it's like, I'm going to call it as I see it. And
for
I
sure.
call a lot of the hyperbolic rhetoric around this film as just, it's kind of just grifty. It's a lot of like, we're just going to kind of find bigger problems. And
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think that's kind of the way that it's gone, unfortunately. And I'll
right.
say it. I'll say it. Jeremy, Jeremy, especially being on Piers Morgan, Jeremy
Right.
from Geeks and Gamers, in my opinion, is 100% out of line.
Right.
He made it sound like, oh, well, they're crying constantly in the movie and they're so emasculated.
Mhm.
Like, Superman, he had an emotional outburst because he grew an attachment to the dog. Okay, maybe a little
Right.
too much of the dog, probably, yeah. But
And that stuff's in the comics too. It's
yeah.
not like it's not comic accurate. Like,
and on top of that, but it's also not like he went in there screeching like a liberal going, "Where's
right.
my dog?" It was like,
No.
he was
It's like,
pissed.
hey, give me my damn dog. Like,
Yeah.
I'm about to go off. Give me my dog.
And then Pa Kent, like, being okay. Well, yes, they did. I will say they did do the Kents a little bit dirty. They
agree.
made them
That
seem
was
like dumb country bumpkins. They're not.
yes. Right.
More Ma Kent instead of Pa Kent, because Pa Kent, like the actor, he kind of dialed in that accent a bit. The
Yeah.
woman playing Ma Kent, she just kind of went
Little
full
much.
blown Bama, roll
Yeah. Yeah.
tide. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a little much, and I think it's really hard too, because which I'm still of the opinion that Man of Steel is the best Superman movie. I will
Fair
say
enough.
it forever. That Ma and Pa Kent, like chef's kiss, phenomenal, hard to beat.
And
Like,
Riskin, I see your chat. I have a couple of chats started here to go through when we're, once we talk a little more.
right,
But yeah, but Pa Kent, that scene when Lois first brought Clark back to Kansas, and put him in his room and all that. Like, he didn't know what was going on with his superpowered, practically immortal son, indestructible
right,
son. He's never seen him in that condition before. He was concerned. As a parent myself, like, granted I have daughters, but even if I had a son, like,
right,
he loves his kid that much that, yeah, he's worried as hell. He sees him all beat the hell that he's never seen happen before in his entire life. So
right.
yeah, he's gonna get emotional about that. And then I know if maybe Jeremy was referring to the porch scene as well. Like, I
Maybe.
guess you can consider that crying. I don't think that was crying. He was having a moment with his son and
Well,
telling him that he was proud of him. And like, I didn't see any actual tears. Yeah, I heard the tone in his voice, but he's having a moment with his son, telling him that he's proud of
right,
him for being the man that he raised him to be, or
right.
exceeding his expectations as the man that he was trying to raise him to be. So
Agreed. And to pretend like have emotions and stuff is just ridiculous. Like I
yeah,
just I'm very I'm not on board with that whole take of all this stuff. And it's also like everybody. I was talking to my wife recently about this, and a lot of the complaints about, oh, he gets beat up all the time, and he's just,
that did
people
not
were
happen.
complaining about that. I'm like, that's bullshit. No,
Yeah,
what's going on here? All right, first of all, we have to look at this as a year one Superman, but
for sure.
also this is a Superman that is an absolute true blue, like Boy Scout. He
Oh
is
yeah.
this Superman was not trying to be a cop. He was trying to be a firefighter, right?
Mhm.
And then
Just
at
save
a
everybody no matter what.
yes, he was a firefighter, and you have to look at it through that lens. And it's like in all these battles, all these other people were trying to just handle things in a policing way, and he was just trying to save everybody, even the bad guy. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
the kaiju even.
right, right.
Like, he
And so
wanted
I'm
to
like,
save the kaiju. As far as he was concerned, it was an creature in a
exactly,
wasn't his own, lashing out, and he wanted to save
exactly,
the damn thing. That's
right.
true Superman.
Exactly,
So
and it tracks even more for a year one Superman
yeah,
who is learning, who is deciding that, like, sometimes I need to be a firefighter, sometimes I just need to be the
well,
cop. Like, sometimes I gotta
I will say that is another critique that I had. I mean, everybody talks about the pacing. The first half of the movie, definitely the pacing was a bit too fast.
right,
The beginning, I didn't like how they just put it out in text, because we find out, okay, he's been Superman for 3 years.
right,
And it's just, but all it is just written out 30 years ago or 3 decades ago. Baby came to planet Earth.
right,
3 years ago, Baby became Superman. 3 months ago, whatever happened. 3 minutes ago, lost his first fight. Uh,
right.
I feel like I feel like maybe like a just 5 to 10 minute opening scene, just kind of
Yes,
doing like a time lapse of him
yes.
landing on Earth to being year 3 Superman would have been perfectly fine.
I I I think that this was James Gunn's worst intro to any film
Yeah,
that he's done. I think that it was a bad move. Even not even just like the text crawl, but like, or I guess you could call it crawl, whatever. But
yeah.
also just how he handled the intro. There needed to be like, that's fine if you want to put that in there, but like you said, we needed a solid 5 minutes of like Superman, even if it's just borderline like a freaking montage, like Superman becoming Superman.
It'll be a
Like,
montage.
yeah, right.
Montage.
Exactly.
Shout
Yeah,
out
we
Team
just watched and
America.
reviewed that. Right, exactly. We just watched that like 2 weeks ago for the fourth, but and reviewed it. But yeah, he should have done something, because if you think about the openings of the Guardians movies and how good they are, I'm like, he understands, he knows how to do it. Why
Mhm.
did he handle it this way? This is not the way you start this movie.
Well, I think the reason why he did it was because Superman has been done basically to death at this point. His origin, everybody knows the origin, so I get
Right.
him to kind of fast track it, but I feel like he fast tracked it too fast. That, and
Agree.
also DC versus Marvel, it's it really is two completely different monsters that you're tackling.
Oh yeah,
Here.
yeah,
Like Marvel, you could have a more tongue-in-cheek, fast-paced, action-packed opening, especially for something like Guardians of the Galaxy, that you
right,
kind of explain the story as you go through the movie.
right.
Superman, you wanted to just tackle it in the opening scene or the first couple of scenes. That just wasn't the way to do it. I think he wanted to just get through it because, like I said, everybody more or less knows Superman's origins at this point,
Right.
at least in terms of the bare bones.
Right, and it's
Um,
like, for me, it's like, "Oh, fine, then, like, start the movie with the kaiju scene."
yeah,
Like,
right.
start it with that. Like, kick it off with that, and then cut back to the other stuff. Like,
Yeah,
something more fun versus Superman eating a shit sandwich and the dog saving him,
yeah. Or
and
even that first half of the fight against the Barovian Hammer, who turned Ultraman.
right,
Even
right.
that first half of the fight, not don't just start with us seeing Superman beaten and battered. That one I will give Jeremy credit for. Yes, we started the
Yeah,
movie seeing Superman weakened and in a vulnerable state.
right,
But that's
and
because more or less, like it says below, spoiler alert, more or less, he was fighting himself. He was fighting
right,
Ultraman, who is in the comics an alternate dimension version of Superman. In this movie, they
right,
made it a clone of Superman.
right,
So
which
he
I
was
think
fighting
might.
himself, who is the only person that could beat the crap out of him the way that he did.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if that actually ends up being Zorro down the line. I think there is a possibility that they could do that because it is a
Yeah.
clone. But we'll see what he does with it. But I mean, it would make for an easy way to build Bizarro because they already did say he was dumb as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And
so
going into that black hole, who knows? Maybe that black hole leads to Bizarro World. Who knows?
exactly. Yeah,
But
that's kind of what I'm wondering. But yeah, there's a lot. There's I think my biggest complaint and things that I adore about Man of Steel is the heroic moments for Superman. Like there are moments in Superman where I literally just get absolute cold chills, just
okay.
like where he does some heroic things, and you're just like, that's Superman.
Yeah.
That right there is a badass superhero saving people's lives, all this stuff.
You're talking
But
about in this one, right?
no, no, Man of Steel versus this
Oh,
one.
gotcha.
Whereas this one, there are no moments in this film where I got those cold chills, where I was like, this is him just being that level of heroic. There's a little speech near the end where it kind of got close, but like there was just nothing that hit me as hard as some of those moments in Man of Steel where he's being Superman.
Fair
Even like
enough.
when he saves the guys on the rig as Clark, technically, in Man of Steel. Like even that moment, there's nothing quite like that in this film for me.
Now, see, I personally disagree.
Yeah.
I think him saving the kid
Hmm.
during the kaiju fight, just everything during the kaiju fight, basically.
Hmm.
I feel
Hmm.
excellent moments because we haven't seen that in really any superhero, not just Superman since
Right.
Man of Steel, but we haven't seen that stuff in any comic book movies, any
Right.
movies where the characters are supposed to be heroes. Like
Right.
even yes,
Especially
Guardians
saving
of
the
the Galaxy
squirrel.
sometimes are anti-heroes, and Deadpool obviously is an
Right.
anti-hero, but like they still do a little bit of saving, kind of, even if it's just circumstance.
Right. Right.
We
Right.
haven't seen anybody save anybody in Marvel saving people at all,
Right.
except for in, what was it, No Way Home, Spider-Man No
Right.
Way Home. That was the last time that I can recall genuinely seeing anybody in a superhero movie saving people, and that was at the beginning of the movie. I mean, granted,
Right.
Spider-Man saved everybody because he was fighting Mysterio and whatnot, but like in terms
Right.
of just a singular saving one singular person, that happened
Right.
at the beginning of No Way Home, and I haven't seen anything since. So me personally seeing those moments in this movie, in particular this version of Superman, you were saying they didn't give you those chills, they gave me those
Right.
chills.
Did they? And I'm glad they did. And that's the thing is I think, all of that stuff just hits different with other people. And I think some of it is that this movie just wasn't really exactly what I was expecting.
Fair enough.
And so I think going back, my opinion could easily change, especially seeing it with my kids and seeing them excited about it. My son's name is Clark. So, I mean,
Oh, there you go.
well, and actually, we'll double down on that. His name is Oliver Clark. He's named after Green Arrow
Yep.
and Clark Kent. So, I mean, I love this stuff, and it was actually after Man of Steel was when I my wife and I decided we were going to name my son Clark. But I am curious to see, because he has such a connection with Superman, like how he vibes with this. Because when he watches Man of Steel, like he cries in that movie, like it
Oh,
moves.
okay.
Yeah, like he loves it, and so I'm really curious how this is going to sit with him. Because in my opinion, it's like, for example, like or the best action scene in this entire film is Mr. Fantastic's scene.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Fantastic
He stole the
whoops
show.
he whoops ass. Mr. Fantastic is the freaking goat. Like, I freaking love him. He's so good.
Mr. Fantastic was awesome. I will say it's now because people have been saying crypto is a little too much.
I like him.
No, some people have said it's a lot of crypto. I think we could have done a little less with crypto, but I would say keep the part where he thinks the T spheres are balls to go play with.
Right.
That was just great because it was a
Right.
great way to get them out of the pocket dimension. It was funny. And also that's the other thing people are talking like, oh well, James Gunn humor, this, that, and the other. I didn't really get a lot of that James Gunn humor for the most part,
I didn't either.
except out of Guy Gardner. That was the only
Exactly.
time we got that James Gunn humor, and
And honestly, I liked
Guy
that.
Gardner.
Exactly. I liked that stuff. I thought Guy Gardner was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hawkgirl,
I honestly
completely useless.
useless,
To put her in
useless.
the movie. No sense there at all. She's the only one that wasn't a hero in the movie. She killed a guy.
Right.
And I get it, like, but it's she served zero purpose in the movie. Metamorpho served more of a purpose in the movie
Right.
than
Which
than
honestly,
she did.
I will say much respect to Gunn for using practical effects for Metamorpho.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
doing him fully practical. I was like, holy crap! Like, I
Yeah,
haven't
it wasn't a
seen
CGI Metamorpho that we got, which was
Right.
great.
that was super. And so there was stuff like that. That's the thing. This movie had me so conflicted, and I mean, I gave it like a 59. It was 1 point away from being a rad, and I have a feeling it might even go up into the rad. Right.
Yeah, shocker, risk it. Yeah, heroes are supposed to help people.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I think as I was watching it, I was like, I see why this is controversial, but I also don't see why people are giving this 0% and saying it's heinous. There's no reality in which this movie is that, and anybody who's saying that it is full of shit and just has an axe to grind.
When I go to write my review of this, because I'm probably going to write it over the weekend because I really need to sit down and really gather my thoughts. But I think it's going to be rad. I'm probably going to put it on the upper end of rad, to be honest.
Right.
It's like I said I was telling my wife if I had to do it on like a out of 10 scale, probably like a good solid 7.5 out of 10.
Right.
For
and,
me.
and
And the only
and I
reason
think
why it's not more is Hawkgirl, pointless, and honestly, Lex Luthor. The actor they got for him, he did the best he could. And honestly, I understood where they were going with Lex Luthor. My biggest gripe with Lex Luthor was that he was so petty enough to have his personal vendettas to throw people into the pocket dimension. Like the Lex Luthor I recall and that I know is not that petty. Like he's just more like, well, you're insignificant. I'm not going to pay any mind to you.
Right. I think also I wonder too if that's where James Gunn, like, this is also a year one Lex, quote unquote, right?
True.
Like we've got
Very
a
true.
year one Superman, even though it's a third year, it's a year one, right? Like, so it's like
Pretty
if
much.
this is an immature Superman, it's an immature Lex, it's an immature like so, and I think that a lot of people aren't looking at it through that lens, and I'm just like, this movie is the simplest versions of these characters that we're going to get. This is the start of this universe. We need to realize that like it's only up from here. These characters have to develop, they have to build. You can't just start at 10. Like that would be stupid. Like we can't
it would be amazing if they did, but they
Right,
would have to
but,
then
like-
keep that consistently throughout the whole
exactly. Exactly. And at that point, to me, I'm just kind of like, but why? Like that wouldn't be as interesting.
Mark Andre Roy, I just wanted to highlight you, man. Say hi. I will get to your chat. I have a bunch starred to go over.
Mhm.
We're just kind of putting a pin on this. Just my
Right.
last couple of things about this movie. Also with Lex Luthor again. So I will give Jeremy a little bit of credit on his comment about also men crying. Lex Luthor having those tears running down his face at the end. I understand why James Gunn did that because like his pride was shattered and like it took such a hit that he had an emotional reaction to it. But again, tears rolling cheek. I mean, it was only a couple tears. It wasn't like he was bawling his eyes out like a baby. But even then, I wanted to see more rage out of Lex in that moment than like kind of shock and despair. So that was kind of also another misstep, but these are small missteps though. The chemistry between Lois and Superman / Clark, just fantastic.
Agreed.
We get an actual woman as Lois.
Right. You're right. And
He could have casted a little bit better, but she was a solid choice.
Yeah, no, well, and that's the thing too is like throughout this film, we've got actual like attractive women. Like,
Good night,
you know,
Shell.
that's kind of yeah. And Shell, thanks for checking out the app. But yeah, we got attractive women, which has like been a thing that Hollywood has been running away from
Yeah.
full speed. Like where that's one of the things that I appreciate about Gunn is he's like, hey, we can make these women attractive and appealing and interesting, and they don't just have to be like these people that you just want to go off screen because they're obnoxious or whatever.
Yeah. And then my last two things are Jimmy Olsen being a lady killer. Like that needs to be fleshed out and explained a bit more. It just kind of is a thing, and okay, I get
Right.
it made me chuckle. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like good for Jimmy, play a.
Right.
But
Right.
like
I
make it make
actually love
sense at least.
Yeah.
That kid, he has been in so much stuff. Always been the
Oh,
same kind of role, like that kind of like
Goober.
wholesome dorky kid. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually liked that for him. I think it was a cool move to make it to where it's like we don't know why this guy's just an absolute
Fair
stud,
enough.
but like
But
he
if they
is.
never elaborate on it, though, I need
Right.
I need
Right.
clarification at some point. It
Right.
doesn't have
As
to be
to
right
why.
away. It doesn't have to be in the next
Right.
movie. But if it's a long running gag that they do for the
Right.
entirety of this movie universe,
Right.
I want it explained at some point.
It just turns out that he's like hung like a horse. That's what it really is. He's just
Well, then again, playa.
yeah. Right, exactly. That's what it really is. And that would honestly, in James Gunn fashion, that's probably what in one of the R-rated series, like in Creature Commandos or something, they'll end up saying they'll be like, "Yeah, I heard Jimmy's got a giant dog." Like, oh, there it is. There's our answer. Like, okay.
And then I guess the other my last gripe about the movie, I guess, would be um crap, I lost it. I had it in my head, and then you started talking about
Right.
Jimmy being hung like a horse, and that's where my mind went. Damn you, Blaine.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
this is the moment we just had.
It's a skill.
Look, this is all doesn't matter. Let's get gay already.
That's what we just did with Jimmy.
Hey, that's how I do it, man. That's how I do it.
But no, my gripe, I guess, was because we talked about the pacing, we talked about Hawk Girl, we talked about the Lex at least crying.
Right.
My other, and it's not even a huge gripe. My other gripe would be, I guess, just we got a little too much of everybody, I think.
Right. Yeah. It was stretched
And
thin.
it was done decently, but like I wanted a little more. I definitely wanted a
Yeah.
little more Clark. I wanted a little
Yep.
more Superman. We could have.
Yep.
Mr. Terrific was awesome, and
Yeah.
the focus on him was great. But I think there was
Right.
just a little too much focus on Mr. Terrific and not
Yeah.
enough focus on Superman and Clark.
Right. I agree. And we really got almost no Clark, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
really. I mean, outside of we got like a nice little scene with him in the office, and we got a nice scene with him with Lois, and that was pretty much it.
And that porch scene with him and Pocket.
Right, and Pocket, that's true.
Yeah.
Which and still the Kent stuff, I'm so on. I hope he walks a little bit of that back. But that's the thing.
Or just
it's
leave
like,
Ma Kent out of it altogether. I'd be fine with that too.
yeah. But either way, it's like from here, it's like it's kind of for me, it's only up from here. And
Oh, for sure.
regardless of my opinion, even if I currently only have it at a decent, which I think it's going to go up to a rad, and it sounds like Marc Andre even in the chat, like the same to him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
once
Marc
you kinda
Andre,
know-
risk it. I'll be getting to your guys' chats. Like I
Right.
said, we're putting a pin in this, and I'll get to everybody's chats.
Right, but it's like I think I think it's only up from here, and I'm excited for where they're headed. I'm excited for the Lantern show. I actually enjoyed Creature Commandos pretty well. I do think that maybe next time someone besides James Gunn should do the Superman movie. I don't know that it needs to
but
be
at the
James
same
Gunn.
time, I mean, he pretty much. I'm not gonna say he hit the nail on the head. It took him a couple of swings, but he ended up burying the
Right.
nail in the wood. So I
Right.
think him focusing on one character series or one
Right.
one trilogy franchise, whatever you want to call it, within the
Right.
larger DCU is going to be a positive. If he spreads
Right.
himself too thin and goes to work on more animated stuff,
Yeah.
and then also Superman, and then gets him Supergirl and Wonder Woman and everything,
Right.
he basically pulls a Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
all this is going to fall apart.
No, I agree. What I think he needs to do personally, now he thrived with like Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner and some of these obscure characters. That's where he does best. I personally think like now that he's kicked off this universe, I think he needs to pivot away from Superman. I'd honestly, since he said he's doing a Swamp Thing, I want to see him do the Swamp Thing movie. Like I want to see him do the weird shit. Like that's what he's good at. Like keep it weird. And so it's like, and let other, where it's like I would have loved to see the dude that did the first Captain America movie do a Superman movie.
Yes.
Like something like that. Like
or even
like,
Winter Soldier, or even the director of Winter Soldier.
Right. Which something like that. And so I think that there are other options. And so we'll see what shakes out. But I think Gunn needs to become more focused and then just oversee the whole, and maybe, like you said, pick his franchise. And if it's not Superman, fine. But pick one. Later, Deborah. But
Thanks for being here, Deborah. One of my awesome mods. But yeah, and then, that was my last thing. Just Supergirl. Well, first off, the casting. Okay, solid on the casting.
She's so cute.
Solid on the casting. I'll leave it there.
Yeah,
Queen is
right.
But I don't. I hope it's not when she gets, because she is getting her own movie, correct?
Yes, soon.
Yes.
They're filming.
I
hope
it's
happening.
I just hope it's not. I hope the whole movie is not just her growing up. I hope they kind of tackle that pretty quickly, and then move on to her actually being Supergirl and doing the Supergirl things. Like instead of the whole movie about her breaking the party girl thing and whatnot, like kind of like what we would have liked to see in the beginning of this. Maybe focus on like the first 10 or 15 minutes of this, or of that, just like how she got to become an intergalactic party girl, and just kind of breaking that mold because all of a sudden, shit hits the fan. Time to grow the F up. Whether it's because Clark is off world somewhere or whatever. Okay, I got to figure out how to be Supergirl now, and then that would be, I think, a solid movie.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with it. I actually liked the little, tease, whatever. I thought it was funny. I know some people hated it.
Yeah, it was definitely funny. I didn't like how she called Clark a bitch.
Yeah. See, I thought that was hilarious.
I get a chuckle out of me, but I was like, come on.
Right.
Like,
right.
I understand you're like the early 20s party girl, but like you still could have, you could have wrote that line maybe a little bit differently.
Right. Yeah, I get it. And it's all about execution from here. And I do think it works in a way in which, like, I think it's separate Supergirl and Superman, right? Like, we need to make her feel substantially different. And if they do that, then I think that that's a win, because we don't want these characters to feel too samey.
Yeah, but the future, as of right now, the future looks bright for the DCU. So now let's get into some of the chats. I've been pinning them. Hidden B earlier, much earlier when we were talking comics, said really want to get into more classic comics, but supporting a family comes first. yeah, absolutely. That's we're there with you.
Yeah, feel you.
It said, I decided the Criticless score was 50 plus after opening weekend. I will go to the theater for the first time in 5-ish years to see it. Yeah, I mean, risk it if you're not going to go in as a purist and open to some small changes. I think you'll walk away thoroughly enjoying it.
Right.
The goal is to create a zero generation. In order to succeed, they must destroy everything that is loved and admired. Yeah, that's what we were seeing. That's what we've been seeing with Marvel, basically.
Right.
James Gunn seems to have gotten the formula right, but it's also only been one movie. So we got to be very, very tempered in our expectations moving forward, especially when he's not the director of every project.
Right. Man of Steel's a Batman movie.
Yeah, Man of Steel's a Batman movie.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, well, before I get to Dreams Uncharted, this may be an unpopular take. I did not like The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Oh, really?
I did not like it. It bored me. I honestly missed about maybe 15 minutes of the movie because I nodded off.
Oh man, that's wild.
I did not like it at all.
That first time?
No, I do have to give it a second watch, but I haven't. But I've been very hesitant to, because that's
right.
It's a almost 2.5 hour movie.
It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
I'll say which.
Let's give it 2.5 hours. If I don't like it the same amount or even worse than the first time, I'm gonna feel like I wasted my time and I'm
say to
pissed.
just do this? Like, right. It's long. Watch like an hour and a half of it. Take a popcorn break. Take a leak. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Start it back up. I actually love that movie, which we've been waiting forever to get a Detective Batman. This is the first Detective Batman movie we got, especially now after seeing the Penguin show, which is an absolute masterpiece,
True.
like 100% masterpiece.
Very
That movie
true.
hits even harder.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I mean, just based off of the first movie alone, in terms of how I see it and how I view it from what I remember seeing of it, I would be okay with going back to the drawing board on Batman. But a lot of people are pretty high on the Batman, and even James Gunn, I think, has doubled down and said, "Well, we're gonna chug along with that for now at least, and see how it goes."
Right.
But the only thing is, if they get too far, there's not going to be a do-over. There will not be a do-over.
No.
The only thing they can do is just ignore that Batman exists and maybe do Dick Nightwing and jump in from there.
Right. And they can't, unless they're doing like some Elseworld stuff or something without causing a real problem.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to. I am curious to see if Pattinson gets pulled into this. I think that there's going to be a big pivot with the next movie as far as how Pattinson plays Bruce. That was my biggest complaint with that movie. Was emo Bruce. But
that was
I think
a bit much.
Right, but I think he's a solid Batman, and giving us a detective Batman, and even if they kind of age him up a little bit for giving us a, since it sounds like we're getting a Robin or something, so in this universe.
Well, I'm curious in terms of what Robin they're going to go with too. Are they just going to go to basics and go Dick Grayson, or are they going to go to Tim Drake, or are they going to go to Jason Todd maybe and then set up Red Hood? Like that would be interesting. Like already, like maybe age Pattinson. Pattinson's Batman by like, let's say, because when did that come out? 22, 21?
Right.
By the time this comes out, it'll be at least 5+ years anyway. So age him 10 years. Have Dick Grayson come and gone as Robin. Have him have him in his beginnings as Nightwing.
Right.
Go into Jason Todd.
Yep.
And then throughout the span of however long this new DCU is gonna run for, build up towards Red Hood.
Right.
I think that'd be great.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And I'm wondering, honestly, because that movie's taken so long to write, I'm wondering if it's because James Gunn was like, no, we're pulling your shit in. Like, this needs to mesh. And so that could honestly be why that movie has taken an ungodly amount of time to write.
No, it makes sense. Dreams Uncharted said the anti-woke grift is getting so over the top that you'd almost think they don't have woke stuff to complain about anymore, which is weird because there's still plenty. For sure.
Dude.
Well, and again, not necessarily to shit all over Jeremy, but like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has kind of been the face of this whole like anti-Superman push this last week or two. And it's I think because Jeremy doesn't really focus on comic books, he doesn't focus on like general programming and television and stuff like that. He really only focuses on like gaming and then like the big stuff, DC stuff, Marvel stuff in terms of movies and TV shows. And I think it's just a matter of he lacks the, I guess, insight on some of the other things that are going on, and which I can understand because he didn't want to speak out of turn. But he definitely, this was not the fight for him to fight though either.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just spread so thin too, where he is deep into the politics side of things too. So it's hard
for sure.
But it's a hard thing to navigate. But I think we do need to make sure that we're not going too far because we don't want to become the woke of the right either or whatever. Right.
And I have respect in the world for all those guys over at Geeks and Gamers, like Beardo too, but like Beardo, X-Wing, Jay, Jeremy, Ryan, all of them. But I think for kind of stuff like this, I really think it'd be Jeremy, if you happen to be watching, which I know you aren't. I think it might be a good thing for them to maybe bring in some outside perspective on some of this stuff.
Which they have, like, for example, one of the big ones I'm glad, and we are almost 1-for-1 on everything, is Epic Mike. He's a good one to have in there. Him and I are always kind of on the same page. And it sounds like it'll probably not be long before you see me on a main event. It could even be around during this Fantastic Four stuff. It's like, it's one of these things. I'm curious to see when I'm going to get injected into some of this stuff too, because I tend to have conflicting opinions with a lot of these guys, which could be helpful, I think, because we're getting to a point where there is a lot of people within the sphere there's opinions all over the place.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of headbutting going on recently, and I mean, and it's good conversation as long as it's happening in a productive manner. But a lot of it's not happening in a productive manner, and that's the problem.
Right.
Like, bring in some fresh blood. Bring in you. Have Mike on more often. Honestly, like I said, just especially with focusing on stuff that isn't Star Wars, Disney Marvel, and DCU, like all the other stuff. Maybe Jeremy wants to consider getting like just sourcing out some stuff to some third party people like you, like Mike. Maybe
Hey, maybe
no. Like comics division, Ian, a comics division, like Odin, people like that, just to get some fresh takes on things for the stuff that maybe him and the core group of G&G don't necessarily focus on as much,
right?
And because I think that's at least part of the reason why we're getting this from them is because like Web Dreams Uncharted said, they're not seeing all the other stuff out there that there is to bring and pull into the light and draw attention to.
Right.
That's just my take, though. Again, not trying to shit on Jeremy, but just that was he's the face of this whole anti.
No, listen, I'm actually I'm just going to text him right now and say that you said that he's a dick, and we'll see what he says.
About that. He knows that already.
Right.
He's the first one to admit it, but Risket said it'll be interesting to see if and when they pair Corn Sweat Superman with Pattinson Batman. Maybe that's why Godzilla -1 director visited with DC. Ooh, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Marc-Andre Ray, which by the way, Godzilla -1 was my favorite movie last year, at the beginning of last year when I finally saw
we could debate on that. I think it was the most overrated movie of last year, personally. But I get why people love it. I do. But it didn't blow my socks off.
That's a topic for another night. We're already into the 2-hour mark. So
of course.
Marc-Andre Roy said I rated 4.5 to a 5 at first, and after watching it again, I gave it to a 7.5. I'm very picky though, because I've been a Superman fan since I was 3. Exactly, and the fact that a hardcore long-term Superman fan can go in. I mean, yeah, it took a second viewing, but the fact that you were able to go in and give it, like, I guess, a more unfettered view and and look at it the second time through, much props to you for being able to do that.
Yeah,
because I think it's a lot of just sensationalizing minor things.
Yep,
and that's kind of skewing people's opinions going in. And then Marc-Andre Ray also said, yeah, that's what made me give it a higher grade, because I'm like, does Superman have room to grow? Absolutely. This isn't God Power Superman yet. This is that's going to go for years. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, like we were talking
Mark,
about.
leave your review on Criticless. You need to do that.
Yes,
sounds like you went from a decent to a rad. We would love your review on there.
Risket said, Blaine, get the fuck out. Godzilla -1 was old school Godzilla brought into modern tech. No, we just said we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, Blaine, you come back on another day, we can talk about it.
I'll say this. I beefed it with Odin, and I had an actual debate about this, and Odin is the pickiest, and he could not deny any of my complaints. So I'll just say that. I will leave it there. But
Risket, ditto, not a fan of Pattinson Batman. Marc-Andre Roy, the Batman was just okay, in my opinion. Not bad, not great. I don't want him to be the DCU Batman, though. Panda Simone, agree with you. Not a fan of Pattinson. Shauna said, honestly, Pattinson looks like he got hit in the face with a shovel.
Brutal.
Damn. Down for the cat. You know what? Hold on, wait.
Yep, there it is.
That's about all I got. I don't have a wrestling ringside bell to hit just yet. But Risky says, let's go. Blade for Tuesday night's main event.
Yeah.
John Abler said, be sure to remind Jeremy how
yeah, I'll tell him. For sure.
And then if you got time to hang around for like maybe another 10 minutes or so, I do just have a couple of things that kind of broke today.
Yeah.
This one in particular. So we got Mortal Kombat 2. This is Jade from Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
And I said more like Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, a little bit more like that. A little bit more like that. With that being said, the trailer looks pretty sick.
Yes, I have that up here. We're not going to listen to the sound. The last time I did a trailer, we got copyright claimed.
That's what I got popped for today. So yeah, was this trailer? So yeah, it's. I think it looks good.
Nobody else can. But yeah, Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. This is gonna. Now, granted, that
Perfect
first movie
casting.
was not by any means fantastic.
I like the first movie. I think it gets more hate than it deserves. I had fun with it. I want to go back to it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it was bad. I had fun watching it, but it definitely
Right.
was not by any means like a fantastic Mortal Kombat movie. It was not what I wanted to see out of a Mortal Kombat movie.
Right.
Like, it touched on it, but it was not where I would have liked it to be.
Right.
Hopefully this does it, and from what I'm seeing, minus the casting of Jade, if this trailer is any indication of it, it's gonna be more in line with what we want out of a Mortal Kombat movie, hopefully.
Right. That's the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah. Queen Comics Life says, ComixDad, you're getting too loud. Too loud for you, meaning you could hear me down. Oh, I woke up one of the kids.
It could be worse. You could be as loud as I am on one of the G&G Mario Kart streams. That's all I got to say.
I
My
need
wife
to switch
was
too, and then I need to get in on one of those through the through the locals, so I can show
Right.
them all up. Because
Yeah.
I watch them race, and I sit there and I shake my head.
You don't want to see me. They bullied me. So yeah, my wife was. I was getting texts where my wife was saying, "I'm going to shoot you through the floor. Be quiet, please." So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, okay, so that actually, let me go back to that real quick.
Mm.
So first off, Baraka, awesome.
right.
Johnny, and this is awesome. We're getting Johnny being Johnny right there,
Yep.
fighting Baraka. This right here, this looked like it was very slow.
Yes, it did.
That little interaction right there between Katana and Jade. It's just the fight choreography. It's very slow, and I think the actress Jade is also that actress that is the model and also the voice artist for that upcoming Naughty Dog game that looks like utter crap.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised that this particular little clip of this fight scene looks piss poor.
Right. I'm kind of like, can you not just give somebody a freaking wig? Like, come on, bro. Like, how hard is it to give somebody a wig? She's bald. Just slap some glue on that head and give her a freaking wig.
Just give her the Trump comb over, even. Like, come on.
Yeah, seriously. Whatever. Anything would have been better.
But yeah. And then what we got Sindel, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like the focus is going to be Johnny Cage,
right?
Which is cool here for. And then we're getting Shao Kahn.
Did we get there's Liu Kang. I was curious if we got him much in the trailer because he was the focus of the last movie and wasn't in this as much.
Yeah. Well, and then we got that character he created for the movie, that very forgettable dude.
Mm-hmm.
Get over here.
This scene's pretty sick.
Love it. And it's Noob Saibot too, which in the N64 Mario Kart, I think it was or not Mario Kart, Jesus.
Yeah, N64 game. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. I think it was Mortal Kombat 2 on N64. I loved playing as Noob Saibot. So the fact that we got Noob Saibot is awesome.
I think that was 4. I think that was Mortal Kombat 4. Because 3 was still on Super Nintendo. Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll just go. What was it?
Yeah, Noob Saibot was awesome. But yeah, everybody in this looks great. Like really cool looking set pieces. They play on all the fan servicey stuff. I'm fairly excited.
Apparently, I'm still being too loud because I have a wooden spoon behind me. But and then this is the other thing I really wanted to touch on. Yeah. Number 2 woke up. Yeah, you're taking her. All right, I will take care of number 2 if she wakes up again. Our 5-year-old.
I take no responsibility for your actions.
Nope, that is 100% me. I will own it. You are safe. But just the other thing, and then we'll call it a show. But Judge Dredd movie in the works. Yeah. Taika Waititi.
Yeah. Now, I will say this:
Judge Dredd, Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Seriously, the only good piece of news about this news is that he is not writing it. It would be worse if he was writing it. And the most of his films that have been stinkers of late, he wrote. Maybe if we get him out of the way, he's not a terrible filmmaker. I think he knows how to shoot something, but it's this has
don't
me
get
nervous.
Me wrong. Thor Ragnarok was refreshing, and I think we needed that at the time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the time. But then once it carried over into Love and Thunder, that's when I kind of just threw my hands in the air and I said,
right. Yeah. Oh, Love and Thunder is horrendous. Yeah. It's offensively bad.
And such such wasted potential on having Christian
Right.
Bale in there. Um, yeah, I won't go into that movie, but yeah, basically my expectations for this are going to be I just probably won't want to see it. I have to wait for a trailer to come out. But as of right now, I have no desire to. I have no excitement for this, considering
Right.
he's
Right.
directing.
Yeah, agreed. Which, and they're still technically working on a TV show. But who knows what's happening with that, or if the fact that he's doing this has completely nuked, you know, uh, us getting that show now.
Yeah, who knows? And Legend of Zelda news. Oh yeah, this was the other thing. I was so happy. Show with Stephen Colbert will end in May 2026 due to financial decisions.
Yeah, as in no one watches and it's
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah. Guess what? All your TDS and all your vaccine pushing,
Right.
it caught up with him. It's biting him in the ass, and it's gonna bite the rest of them. I just hope what's his name, Kimmel is next.
Dude, seriously, God, it doesn't get more obnoxious. I think all these late night shows are failing magnificently.
But
So
anyway,
whatever.
so Blaine, where can everybody
Yeah.
find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of everywhere. Like I said, I'm the herpes of the internet. So, but,
Well, and I'm the hemorrhoid apparently. So.
right. Oh, yep, exactly. So,
We
no,
need
yeah,
to just go travel YouTube together.
right, exactly. We're just a plague. You have to deal with us. You can't avoid it. So, but you can find me on X. I'm at Criticless BA. If you get on criticless.com, which is the number one place you should be,
For
on
sure.
Criticless, I will be your friend. I'm like your MySpace Tom. I will be your friend whether you want me to be or not. And
There
I'm
you are,
I'm
right
on
there,
other
friends with benefits.
right. See, exactly. There I am. And actually, if you have not set your friends with benefits on Criticless yet, I highly recommend you do that first. Start setting up people as your friends with benefits, the people that you agree with the most in the app. It will much better help you to actually gauge where your opinions might lie on a film. So that was one thing that we did not talk about. Friends with benefits are very clutch and awesome. But yeah, follow me on all the social medias because I need more followings so that I look like a real person. So, because like I said, I wasn't on social media before making this app, really.
Yep.
So,
And I have Blaine's link tree in the description of the stream, everybody, so you
Thank
can go check that out. But yeah, also just
Yeah.
follow the actual Criticless X page as well. But
Yeah.
go set up that Criticless account for sure. You can follow Blaine on X as well. You guys got a YouTube show, Criticless Cast.
Yes,
Is
follow
the name
that.
of the channel. So
We're
go
trying to
follow
hit
that as well.
right. We're getting close to 800. We want to hit 1,000.
Nice.
We'll see if we can get there. But we've I did news for a year. That was exhausting. I stopped doing that. That was what was growing our channel though fairly well. But it was
movie
so much
news and
work.
stuff.
Yeah, it was daily and it was a lot.
Jeez.
And so yeah, it was kind of exhausting. It took up all my time. But yeah, so I would say just follow our Criticless Cast channel though. We have a lot of fun and we highlight all of y'all's reviews. So if everybody is reviewing things with us when we are, then we can talk about them and everything that's happening with your reviews as we kind of go along. So yeah, follow Criticless Cast and then get up on Criticless more than anything.
For sure. And then obviously also everybody help go grow that YouTube channel over there, Criticless Cast. They're on their way to 800. We're on our way to 350 here, and then the push to 500 here at ComixDad.
Sick.
Everybody go check out all the places. But Blaine, do you have parting words for the comics crew, as we call the community here?
Yeah, no, everybody, let's just keep doing our part. We all of us do our little bits here, like with ComixDad here doing his show. Even if it's just dropping reviews on Criticless and being active on there, it's like every little bit helps to show with this movement of making entertainment better, whether it be movies and TV or comics or video games or any of it. I think that these movements like this helps and people just contributing, whether it be with your reviews and your opinions or your thoughts, because we're getting to the point with Criticless where we can start to talk to studios and things and be like, hey, look, this is what our audience thinks, these are the demographics, these are the people you're failing, this is what you can do better. So it's like,
awesome.
Even if it's just doing things like using Criticless, do that because it really does help to make things better for the future of what we are all going to get to enjoy when it comes to entertainment.
Brisket, Criticless is my go-to review. Same here, man. Same
awesome.
Here. Basket City's here. What's going on, Basket City? Unfortunately, brother, you are coming in right near the end of the stream, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless, man. And everybody, please hit that like button on the stream, whether you're on Rumble, the one watching on Rumble, the 2 on Kick, or the 13 here on YouTube. We had up to 22 people watching at one time across all the platforms at one point. So thank you everybody who's came and gone and been here the whole time as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on YouTube, follow on Kick. My link tree is both on my X account and also in the description below. Go follow me on X. If anybody ever wants to see anything on the channel, please email me or reach out to me on X. You can find me. My email is thecomixdad@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for some videos or maybe for guests for the show or what have you, right now this show I have booked out through November now, with I think one slot in November open. It's gonna be good, and I'm hoping to provide an even more awesome show for everybody starting next year. Blaine, would love to have you back on the show at some point, brother.
Yeah,
whether
for
it's
sure.
whether it's this or just maybe, who knows, I come up with another segment or something. But regardless, would love to have you back on the show, man, or on the channel, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been a great time. I love what you're doing. Keep at it. Keep chugging along. And everybody that's in the chat, keep supporting all of the people doing stuff like this. I love it. This community to us and to all the other content creators like you, we love it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here, Blaine. I appreciate you, brother, for wanting to take your time, 2+ hours of your night from your family to come talk to me, a functional moron on the internet, but the hemorrhoids of the internet, as Queen Comics.
That's right.
Thank you for talking to the hemorrhoid of YouTube. But everybody, as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, support your local comic shops, support independent comic creators like our friend Webb, Dreams Uncharted in the chat, and also
Caveat
as ties as well. Caveat, please remember to please try to remember to you can either DM me on X or email me your stuff. I'd love to go check it out. Go check out Chad Townsend, as I talked about in the beginning of the stream when I shared some of my own comics. He's got a new book that he's fulfilling now. It should be up on his website at some point too. Go check him out. And yeah, be good small content creators like myself, Queen Comics wife, our boy right this way. There we go. Here, Blaine and his crew over on Criticless Cast, and go sign up for Criticless, everybody. And on the way out, the legend himself, Snooty Mims over on Rumble with a $5 says, "You guys rock." You know what? That actually reminds me. Let me go see who we're gonna raid over to on Rumble, because we can't raid on YouTube just yet. But
yeah, you got to hit 1,000 on that. We've been struggling with that too, and what's people can't raid to you either, which kind of sucks. But,
well, no, I think people can, because a friend of the channel, she's got I think like 600 something subs on YouTube, and I think she got raided.
Somebody tried to raid us the other day and it wouldn't let them, but I don't know if that's a setting that we just didn't have set up. But who knows? YouTube's very like wishy-washy with that stuff.
But Rumble folk, I'm going to read you over to our boy Hypnotic. So go check out Hypnotic. Tell him ComixDad sent you. YouTube folk, if you want to head over to Hypnotic, just look him up, search him. I don't have his link pulled up right now, but we can't raid over there. But head on over to Hypnotic's channel. Tell him ComixDad sent you. But yeah, like I said, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, support local comic shops, independent comic creators, and small content creators. Snooty Mims, thank you for the $5. I'm going to hit the thank you video and then the outro, and then we'll be out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. And Snooty Mims, thank you for the $5. Have a good night, everybody.
Tune in, geek out, it's all in good fun. Talking shop with ComixDad, everyone. Let's keep the conversation lively and bright. See you next time for more insight. Welcome to Talkin' Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got, from ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.